Fox Sports.
We are Black Force. We are Detroit.
In Michigan, the roots of hockey run deep. That's why the game is special. That's why we're called Hockey Town. In the great state of Michigan, generations have followed their Red Wings, each with stories to tell, each with heroes to follow, images etched into memories, forever unfaded by time itself.
Howe's rebound off the boards is fired back into the net by Ted Lindsay.
As he had intercepted, now to Yzerman over the line, a shot, he scores! Steve Yzerman!
For the 5th time in their 27 years in the National League, the Detroit Red Wings have won the Stanley Cup.
The Detroit Red Wings, for the 4th time in 11 years, are the Stanley Cup champions.
On this day, on land reserved for the boys of summer, these winter warriors have plowed the field under to reveal a crisp sheet of ice. Reaching back through centuries of hockey history and lore, two ageless rivals free themselves from the faded pictures and the grainy footage. Come alive again at Comerica Park. Comerica's games set the stage for the battle to continue tomorrow in Ann Arbor. But today, the lineup of legends will skate here together once more and remind us just how deep the roots of hockey run and play the game they love for the fans who love to watch them and the great game of hockey.
If you're going to play a hockey game outdoors, you want a day just like this one. On a cold, blustery day in downtown Detroit, in front of the game's greatest fans, some of hockey's greatest names ever will lace them up once more. The signature events of Detroit's Winter Festival are the Alumni Games, matching the Detroit Red Wings and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome inside Comerica Park. I'm John Keating with Mickey Redmond. The late, great Sid Abel once said the Detroit Red Wings are paid to play hockey, but they'd play the Toronto Maple Leafs for nothing. Such is the relationship. You were in the middle of some of those battles.
You know, I grew up right around the Toronto area. Whenever you went to Maple Leaf Gardens with St. Mike's, the Marlies, who were here yesterday with the Griffins, and then, of course, the Leafs, that was the big club. It was a great thrill to play on that ice surface. And, of course, these two go way, way, way back. There's only one game separating about 600 or 700 games between the two NHL teams. So it's great to see a bunch of the old Leafs back here yesterday. They're all fired up. We're like a bunch of kids that got their first pair of skates and getting that dressing room. Bowman and Smith are there. It's a ball. We're having a ball.
All right, well, you'll be playing in the second game, and Mick will be mic'd up for us. Darren Elliott is also working with us ringside. He's with former 50-goal scorer Johnny Ogrodnik.
John, 5-time All-Star. How much fun have you guys had leading up to this game?
Oh, Darren, we've had a lot of fun. You know, we've had some skates at Joe Louis Arena and, you know, Draper and Kleeman, these guys. And it's, you know, I tell you what, the guys are pretty excited about this. And, gosh, when I drove up here, I couldn't believe the amount of fans that were already outside the building. And I got here about an hour and a half before the game.
It's for the fans. It's for the players. What's the game going to be like?
You know, it's going to be a lot of fun out there. I mean, you know what? Even though some of us are in our 40s, I'm in my 50s, and guys in his 60s. We got Red Barrett in his 70s. You know, everybody's still a little bit competitive, so it's going to be a lot of fun and stuff like that. But, you know, it's pretty great. But, you know, most importantly, you know, I've been out of the game for 20 years now. Be honest, these pants make me look fat.
I would say take your shifts downwind. Have fun, John. Yeah, thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Darren.
That's John Ogrodnik. Those pants make him look fat. Wow.
We have looked forward to this day for the better part of a couple of years, a chance to watch what the greats still have and remember their yesterdays. You'll meet the first wave of alumni next.
It's Toronto. It's Detroit. It's the culmination of Winterfest. 2 fantastic weeks at Comerica Park in what is now known as Comerica Arena, certainly for the last few days. And fans today will remember the weather. And they'll remember the memories from today, and really memories that began generations ago. Memories and how. Upwards of 90 former greats will skate in the 2 games, and others present on the bench, and their presence is our presence, and their past is what bring us here today. And last but not least, it is in fact Detroit and Toronto. It's the U.S. and Canada, where we eat chocolate bars, not candy bars. We drink pop, not soda. And back bacon and Kraft Dinner are not our two favorite food groups. But our favorites are ready to take the solidified waters here at Comerica Park. And to introduce them, our public address announcer, Eric Friney.
It's time now for team introductions, courtesy of Comerica Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, some of the greatest names to ever play the game of hockey have worn the Toronto Blue and the Red Wings Red. We welcome you to Comerica Park for the first of two Alumni Showdown games here today. Please welcome to the ice the coaches. For Toronto, Tom Watt. For Detroit, Barry Smith. For Toronto, Dan Maloney. For Toronto, Rob Ellis. And for Detroit, Scotty Bowman. And now the goalies for Toronto, number 33, Doug Fazell. For Toronto, or for Detroit, number 31, Kevin Hudson. For Toronto, number 1, Mark LaForest. For Detroit, number 41, Eddie Mio. And for Toronto, number 2, Peter Ing. And now the defenseman for Toronto, number 4, Mike Pelech. For Detroit, number 15, Jason Woolley. For Toronto, number 4, Corey Cross. For Detroit, number 27, Aaron Ward. For Toronto, number 33, Matt Martin. For Detroit, number 28, Steve Duchesne. For Toronto, number 3, Brad Marsh. For Detroit, number 11, Matthew Dandino. For Toronto, number 4, Greg Hotham. For Detroit, number 23, Matthew Schneider. And for Detroit, number 2, Yuri Fisher. The forwards for Toronto, number 24, Dan Daoud. For Detroit, number 7, Gary Unger. For Toronto, number 21, Mark Osborne. For Detroit, number 15, Pat Verbeek. For Toronto, number 19, Bill Derlego. For Detroit, number 23, Kevin Miller. For Toronto, number 9, Stu Gavin. For Detroit, number 22, Mike Knuble. For Toronto, number 15, Pat Boutet. For Detroit, number 14, Brent Fedek. For Toronto, number 12, Rob Pearson. For Detroit, number 21, Paul Eisebart. For Toronto, number 15, Claude Loisel. For Detroit, number 8, Dennis Polonich. For Toronto, number 10, Brad May. For Detroit, number 85, Peter Klima. For Toronto, number 14, Dave Reed. For Detroit, number 20, Martin Lapointe. For Toronto, number 19, Tom Fergus. For Detroit, number 10, Jimmy Carson. For Toronto, number 26, Mike Krushelniski. For Detroit, number 17, Dallas Drake. For Toronto, number 7, Dave McElwain. For Detroit, number 25, John O'Grotnick. For Toronto, number 8, Todd Warner. For Detroit, number 7, Red Berenson. For Toronto, number 20, Mike Johnson. Number 16, Nikolai Borshevsky. And number 32, Lou Francischetti. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and kindly remove your hats. Active duty and retired military may keep their hats on while rendering the military salute. Please welcome the Selected of God Choir and the Red Wings' own Karen Newman for the singing of the Canadian and American national anthems.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome back to a beautiful scene at Comerica Park, Comerica Arena. Toronto and Detroit set for the first of 2 alumni games here this afternoon. And a big cheer as Red Berenson came out, and that was great to see. He'll be the oldest in this game at 74. Let's send it to public address announcer Eric Friney with a familiar name.
Ladies and gentlemen, soon to be Hockeytown's newest legend when his number is retired at Joe Louis Arena on March 6th, 2014. Please welcome to the ice for the ceremonial puck drop, Nick Lidstrom. Will the captains please come to center ice?
7 Norris trophies for Nick Lidstrom, only one behind the great Bobby Orr. As Red Berenson, the oldest player in the game at 74 years young, to take this face-off with Dan Daou.
Ladies and gentlemen, let the Alumni Showdown officially begin.
Fans excited here. Should be a crowd upwards of 35,000 on what is a brisk, cold day today. And there, as part of our starting goaltenders, brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, is Doug Favell. He and Bernie Perrant, when he kicked things off with the Philadelphia Flyers, and then some great years, the acrobatic one. And he's got the GM12 goaltenders catching mitt. And I know Darren Elliott, who's in the penalty box for us today, and John Keating will remember that old equipment. And there's the man we fondly call Ticker for some heart issues earlier in his career, Kevin Hodson, member of a couple of Stanley Cup wins with the Detroit Red Wings. And game 1 of 2 is underway, at Tom Fergus got that puck back. And the puck is at center and brought back in by number 19, Billy Derlego. As the Red Wings will counter and bring it back into the Toronto zone in the high slot, and a shot by John Ogrodnik goes over top of the goal. Favell down. Doug Favell saying this morning, if I go down, it may not be on purpose. I may not get up that quickly. Kleem is out there.
And he didn't. And he
brought back in by Dave Reed, number 14, back to Ferguson off the goalpost. And that puck is up and out of play. Feels like 6 degrees today, but the weather conditions, 20 degrees right now. Winds out of the northwest at 14. And Darren, how's it feel at ice level? Colder than that?
6 degrees would be a good estimate, plus or minus 6 degrees.
A little warmer where I am, my friend, and that's okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you, though, there's a warmness to this game. Lots of smiles at ice level.
Oh, for sure. That's Matthew Schneider. Familiar name to both Toronto and Detroit. And a goal, our first one of the game. Yuri Fisher, who's wearing the mic for us tonight. And Yuri Fisher gets the goal.
Doug Favre with the pad stack.
And let's see, Yuri, what do you think? How did you do on that?
You gotta have your D.
They're asking, why are you jumping up? The Maple Leafs are mad at him.
Yuri, you got to force the issue, and he did. What? Yuri, if you can hear me as you try to take the Leafs out of the play. Tell me about that goal, Yuri.
Can't hear you very well.
All right.
I hear you now.
There you go.
I have no
Schneider in the
idea. I've
slot.
never been that.
And another one.
Unbelievable.
2-0. You're +2, Yuri. Dallas Drake.
+2, we're off. We're off.
You hear him? +2, we're off.
Boy,
We're done.
Darren, the Leafs have gone quickly to a goaltending change.
Pick up the stats.
And then Peter Ring, and he just was already victimized. That tic-tac-toe +1 on that passing play. That looked good.
And Kevin Miller was up on the play. Cousin to Drew and Ryan. Brought back in on the wing. Throwing in front of the net. Back into the slot again, and now off the goaltending change, a save made, and another one in front. And just went wide of the net from Mike Knuble as Peter Ing is now in goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Played 4 seasons in the NHL, did Ing, 2 with Toronto and 1 with the Detroit Red Wings.
There's a company now, X-Hockey Products. He embraced Salvador. Sell training devices, very successful.
Jimmy Carson out there for Detroit wearing number 10. Carson, who scored 92 goals as a teenager in the National Hockey League. And asked for a better start to your career than what Jimmy Carson did.
No, I was on those LA Kings teams with him and Luc Robitaille and Steve Duchesne.
Yeah, now I do, yeah.
And the second youngest to Wayne Gretzky to score 100. Second to Wayne in anything is pretty good. That was kicked aside by Kevin Hodson. Eddie Meal will share the goal with Kevin Hodson here this afternoon. Ken Holland was to play, but is not in the lineup for this game number 1.
Yeah, you put the Tiger Mom on.
Matthew Dandino coming through. Dandino into the corner. That goes off a skate and off the side of the net. Dandino told me today it took him a while to get used to skating on regular skates. He was in the CBC's Battle of the Blades, a figure skating competition where he finished 3rd and had to work out for 4 months and did a marvelous job. And he was always a great skater and brought in now, and it took him a while to get used to the normal skates. Look at that little flash there. It's like he's on figure skates again, and a good save by Ing. Nice stop on Steve Duchesne.
Well, that's a trifecta. He's been a forward, a defenseman, Duchesne, and a figure skater.
I played Andy.
Brent Fedek will shoot it in as the Leafs go back to get it. Number 9, Stu Gavin with a pass ahead and out to center.
Whoa, dump it.
Lou Francis Getty gets dumped and shoots it in.
And like when he played, looking for the call.
Oh, for sure. Lou Francis Getty, when he came to Toronto, he scored so well so early, getting 21 goals his first year. He said, I came, I saw, and I conquered. Back in from Marty Lapointe, now a scout with the Montreal Canadiens. Well, we mentioned Matthew Dandino on figure skates for a little bit and showed some of that flash here.
He did. He gets on, watch a little kick with the left leg. Gets on the inside edge of the right skate. Nice save by Peter Ring. Fancy footwork by Matthew Dandino.
He was always a great skater with those size 14 feet. I don't know how they got skates to fit him. 13 seasons, 9 with Detroit, 4 with Montreal, and now doing some TV work in Montreal. Worked back to the line by Lapointe. As the Wings work it around the outside and in front of the net in a sliding save as Ing came over.
Sliding pad stack. You'll see more of it today than you have in the last 15 years.
Klima makes the play into Marty Lapointe. And taken back the other way here by Toronto. A long shot in on the new goaltender, Eddie Mio, in goal.
Look at that old school mask.
That's something.
He's a brave man.
Didn't you have one of those growing up? Most of us did, at least playing street hockey.
Yes. And then there was the old one, the Jacques Plante one, the full, that came back halfway the top of your skull. That one didn't.
Yeah, that's right. 4 seasons in the WHA with Indianapolis and Edmonton, and played 3 years with Detroit, a couple with the Oilers in the NHL, and he became best friends with Wayne Gretzky and wound up being Wayne's best man at his wedding to Janet Jones. And that was a royal wedding in Canada when Wayne and Janet married. That was much like we see in England.
Eddie Mio has been so involved for so long with the Red Wing Alumni Association. Did great work over the years. Still playing goal. 60.
That's something.
It is.
I like when guys like Matthew Schneider don't wear helmets. Much easier to distinguish. As the Leafs carry in, that's Reed with a shot. Dave Reed wearing his camera on his head as he wants on the helmet, as he wants a memory of this. Well, Ticker played a bit, and now he's standing by with John.
Well, I'm not sure that we even knew that Kevin Hodson was coming, but I have to show you his hockey pants. Those things have some miles on them.
Yeah, they're. I borrowed these from a police officer back home in Sault Ste. Marie, so thanks to Chris Chapetta, he gave me all of his goalie equipment and able to play today.
What's the feeling like when you get the call that they want you to be a part of this in this setting?
Oh, it's humbling. I mean, just to be able to be back and see all the guys again brings back a lot of your youth, and always great to come back to Detroit and play in front of these great fans. So.
Welcome back, Dick.
Thank you so much.
All right, he's one of a kind, KD.
That he is, and a member of the Red Wings '98 Cup, and didn't have enough games, but the Red Wings petitioned to have his name added to the 1997 Stanley Cup, so a 2-time Cup winner with Detroit, Kevin Hodson, whose afternoon won't be done yet. And a long shot in and a good save there by Eddie Mio. And they're going to keep it going as he does, and the referees Ron Hogarth number 10, Brian Lewis number 23, Dan McCourt and Will Norris are the linesmen here in game number 1.
And what I noticed right away, remember when the refs used to have their names on the back? They were part of the flavor of the game.
I like that.
I do too.
I think they took it off because of Mickey.
Well, they took it off because they didn't want them to be as much a part of the flavor, much like Major League Baseball and the umpires. They just want them to do their jobs. But boy, these guys were personalities in and of themselves.
Yes,
back in the day.
And that was the great thing back in the day, because they had the rapport with the players, and yes, there were fewer teams and you knew them, and the players were around longer. So it was nice to have that the rapport with one another and that mutual respect. And after speaking with John, Kevin Hodson has gone back in goal. What a beautiful scene here in downtown Detroit this afternoon. These games will be, the first game is 2 20-minute halves we'll be playing. The final 5 minutes, you see the running time at the top of your screen. The final 5 minutes of each half will be stop time. The second game of our doubleheader here this afternoon on Fox Sports Detroit will be 2 25-minute halves, with the final 10 of each stop time. Brad Marsh back there to get it without the helmet, number 3. He said his kids, when they were born, he named them Clutch and Grab for his skating style and how he played defense.
Over 1,000 games in the NHL, though. He clutched and grabbed his way to a very nice career.
Couple of seasons with Detroit and 3 with Toronto for Brad Marsh. Number 11, Dandino, threw one rink wide. The Leafs step up and tell me it's a neutral zone trap. Mark Osborne tried to get to the puck. Kevin Miller played it. Number 23 in white for Detroit, and Marsh is back to get it again. He's used to those old 1 to 2 minute shifts he had back in the day when he played. In comes Dave McElwain. And a good save there by Mio off a hard shot from Brad May. Just a Red Wing for a short time was Brad, just 1 season, and just 1 season with Toronto too. most of his career with Buffalo, 7 seasons, and a cup winner with Anaheim, Brad May.
Kept it geographically convenient for himself with those 3 cities.
Krushelnyski with a shot. The time an assistant coach with Detroit and working the video. Played 1 year with the Red Wings. Another save by Hudson. And do they bang it in? Leafs are saying yes. Ron Hogarth taking a look. I don't think we're going to have video review in this game. At least I'd hope not.
Hoagie knew where he was. He waved it off in Detroit. No goal.
Well, Darren, what do you think here?
Well, I think going back to John Ogrodnik's point about do the pants make him look fat, I think those pants make Kevin Hodgson look fat, and I think they bailed him out there. Cover the puck up.
All right, we'll be back in a...
Welcome back to Comerica Park. You're not used to seeing people all bundled up like here, but this is what happens when you have an ice rink there on the field. With the Let's Go family, a family outing for you guys to come to the alumni game. Alec, why did you want to be here with your son?
Well, we're a hockey family, and this gave us a chance to reminisce. I remember taking them to Joe Louis Arena when they were real little, saw the list of who's going to be here, and it was a can't miss. It was some of their childhood idols, even mine, with Gary Younger.
Who are you most excited to see in the game today?
Well, Steve Yzerman, for sure.
What about you guys?
Definitely Steve Yzerman. My role model growing up as a little hockey player when I was 3 years old. Always loved Stevie.
One more game to wait for Steve Yzerman, but everybody having fun out here in the stands. Ken, I'll put it back up to you.
Thank you, Shannon. And I'm pleased to be joined by a man who played 6 seasons with Detroit, 9 in the NHL. I don't need the introduction. Hi, Mick.
How are you?
Good. You?
I'm staying warm. Staying warm. I was down by the bench, and Scotty and Barry, I said, don't look so cold, Barry. Get your hands out of your pocket.
So you came to get warm, and you left John Keating and Darren Elliott just to the cold.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. Does it look fast down there to you, or no?
Not right now. No, it doesn't.
Do you mean the second game's going to be quicker?
My guess is absolutely. If the game is anything close to the way our practices have been, and apparently the Leafs yesterday were picking a pretty good pace as well after we went on, I'd say that, we'll have a pretty good pace going. Yeah.
And how is the ice?
Very good. Very good. It's very interesting that outdoor ice is 3 inches thick, as opposed to about 1 inch 3/4 to 1 1/4 inches at the Joe. So when I jumped over the boards, my feet hit the ground before I thought I should have been still in midair, and I'm going, what the heck is this? So what it is, the net result is the boards are lower.
Oh, okay.
With the thicker ice. Right. Pretty interesting.
Okay.
So, but the ice is good, and it's good today.
As the Leafs look to get on the board, and they do!
Bingo.
Stu Gavin on a feed from Dan Daou. He could set him up pretty good, Dan Daou.
Nice backhand pass by 24.
Backhand sauce.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that hit the top of the blade, too. Didn't even hit the bottom of the blade.
And you're right, Kenny. He was
midair.
Dan Daou in his day, I remember playing against him. He was a playmaker just like that.
Dan Daou played 8 seasons with Toronto, 1 with Montreal, and Stu Gavin, pretty reliable player, gets the goal. So the Maple Leafs trailing Detroit by 1 here. Brought back in by Red Berenson.
So awesome that he's a part of it.
Yes, it is, for sure. And no surprise that Red would be wearing the helmet, because he came out of college with one and was one of the first in the National Hockey League to have the helmet on. And I guess probably took some heat way back when for that, but Red, the oldest player in the game, 74 years old, centered one, and Peter Ing made the save. And the play will continue on. Red with 30 years now coaching at the University of Michigan.
The one thing that stood out, Kenny, when I was down there, we'll take a look in a moment, is the crowd is unbelievable. Lots of Leaf jerseys, of course, Red Wing jerseys, as you know, wherever we go on the road with the big club. But boy, what a sight it is out there. I don't know what the temperature is right now, 15 degrees probably, 20 degrees, but the wind's blowing, so she's a bit nippy down there. But boy, I'll tell you what, they are really having fun in the ballpark, and we'll show you this whole scene in a minute. A beautiful, beautiful sight.
And that's why the goaltenders have been switching off too. They don't want to stand there too long and get cold. I know Chris Osgood told me about that for game number 2. He'd like to be switching every 7 minutes or so if he can.
Yeah.
In comes Kevin Miller, and that famous Miller family from East Lansing. Played with 9 teams and a couple of times with Detroit. Miller goes after it, but the Leafs will get there first, and they head for Tom Fergus. Or their Lego rather had it.
Billy Derlego. Pretty good centerman, boy.
Oh, sure was.
Other guy that can hang on to the puck really well.
Some of the players are wearing duplicate numbers today. They like to keep with what they had, and it sometimes makes a little difficult to identify some. They're going by skating style, and Dallas Drake has it, wearing his old familiar number 17.
Dallas is used to this weather. He's living in Traverse City, so
yes,
it's not exactly summertime up there.
And he's around hockey rinks all the time. Jimmy Carson had his pass picked off, but goes back to pick it up. You remember Jimmy well.
He's still got a nice touch.
Grabbed there by Todd Warner's in all alone with great speed and scores. Nice move to the backhand to beat Kevin Hudson. This game's all even.
Well, now, turnovers in an Alumni game. Well, Aaron Ward he ran into the referee. That was the problem. Blame the ref on that one.
He did.
Nice move. Yeah, nice move between the legs. You get an old-time goalie. Oh, look out. Oh, Matthew Dandino. Okay. Matthew knows better to stay away from Ronnie Hogarth like that.
It was funny that the exchange right after was like, come on, Hoagie, just like the old days, get out of the way.
Right. Well, he could say, oh, you won, but there's not going to be any penalties in this game, so that's not going to get made up for. As Knuble put it in back of the net, just out of the reach of Johnny Ogrodnik, number 25. That pass knocked out of the air. Duchesne, too far for Knuble. But a perfect feed on and a shot by Carson. Whoa. Rebound loose side of the goal. And the whistle went. And we get to check in with John Keating.
All right, Kenny, and it's our Arby's ice level interview. I look over and I see Chris Draper wearing the biggest smile I've ever seen Chris Draper wear. You're a Toronto guy. This is great stuff.
This is a lot of fun. Just looking around and seeing obviously all the red and white here. It's special. I'm just watching these guys right now, and they haven't stopped smiling either. So, you know, you're playing an outdoor game. Everyone, I think, is just kind of going back to their childhood and having a lot of fun out there. I know these guys are excited. Talked to them before the game, and we're certainly looking forward to getting out there as well.
You're playing the second game. Should you be inside psyching yourself up, maybe puking, whatever it takes to get yourself ready?
I didn't do that when I played, so I'm not going to start now. But we'll don't worry, we'll be going in there and loosen up. I got Ozzie and Manny strict things right now. Keep them inside the Tigers dressing room. Make sure those guys are stretching and staying loose. Little brisk out here today, and we got some snow falling right now, so it's just awesome. Just going to be a great day for myself, my teammates, and everybody's families, everyone down here involved.
Make no mistake, Chris Draper has been running the show here for several weeks, Kenny.
Yeah, I don't think they need Scotty. Here's a chance in front, and a save made. Nice stop there.
Eddie Beal, he's in for a ticker.
Shot just goes wide of the goal. Going to pick it up, Billy Derlego, number 19. Around for Dave McElway, number 7. Moving up was Mike Pellick, number 4. On the Leaf defense. Oh, Isabart couldn't get it out, and now it'll be brought ahead by Fedek. Brent Fedek, number 14, with a shot that Ing turned aside. Pellick plays one out. 11 seasons in the league for Pellick. Remember him on that Leaf defense with Jim Dory?
Yeah, they were big guys. They were big guys in their day. Big, tall drink of water, those boys.
Mike's 66 now and does not look his age. And neither do you at 66. Happy belated birthday from December 27th.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah. Now, is Jimmy Dory here?
Jimmy Dory, I'm not playing, but I'm not sure if he's here.
Okay.
He was to be one of the ambassadors, the old number.
Big, tough guy.
Yeah, familiar number 8.
Yep.
Toronto.
Brad Marsh just laid a pretty good body check on somebody down there. Played for both teams.
Back to the high slot as Pellick played it back. Went off the stick of Matt Martin. Martin's got it now. He played collegiate hockey with Ryan Martin, the Red Wings assistant GM. Marty Lapointe back into the slot. And a shot by Klima. Goal for Detroit, Peter Klima.
Quick release by the Czechoslovakian.
He was always dangerous when he played his 13 NHL seasons.
That overtime goal he scored when he was in Edmonton.
He didn't play for half the game.
For the whole game, I think. He was on the bench and he came off with fresh legs in 2 or 3 overtimes and found the back of the net just like that. Rolling puck off a pad and in the back.
And I see he hasn't changed the tape on his stick.
No, he hasn't. No.
Just like it always used to be with the stripe for Peter Klima. who was traded in 1989 for Jimmy Carson. Good save there by Ing. A Pat Verbeek attempt. There's the little ball of hate.
He had some pretty good practices, Pat. He couldn't score in a breakaway about 4 or 5 times on Ozzie, and I said, Pat, we're having trouble on our shootouts, but we're not gonna bring you in because you can't score in a breakaway. He got mad and he scored 2 others on a 2-on-1 right after that.
He had built a house and then decided to move, and he sold his house to Jim Schwartz. I texted him yesterday saying, do you want your house back? It might be for sale.
A lot of goals, that little guy, the way he played the game. Pat Verbeek.
Drake moved it over quickly. And Verbeek was up there at the side of the net. Brought ahead to center for Lou Francischetti, number 15. Back for Pat Boutet, also wearing number 15. Boutet the shorter of the two, so moved back in here by Pelech. Save made. Trying to find it was Hodgson. And the puck played ahead for the helmetless Matthew Schneider, who's the
2-on-1
special assistant to Donald Fear with the Players Association. Back for Schneider, and he couldn't finish it. As Gavin takes it ahead for Toronto.
Said he likes what he does, too. What a great experience for him with Donald Fair as the first period comes to an end. And this very big crowd already here as the sun comes out. Look at that. Is that any good or what? Sun's coming out over the buildings in downtown Detroit, and the combination of blue and white and red and white is as good as it gets. 2 original 6. Look at that scene. It's a beautiful thing, John Keating.
All right, Kenny, thanks. With Matthew Schneider, who also played for Toronto, did you go back and forth at all about whom you might play for here in the Winter Classic?
Well, Kenny called me first, so I had to come.
You're not wearing a helmet. I would guess there are people who hold you near and dear who said, you got to wear a helmet out of one of these things.
You know what? I think more than anything, it tells people to stay away from me is what I was hoping. And they have so far.
Size up the first period's play, if you would.
Well, I think it was pretty exciting when we had the roster announcement, and it was downhill after that. It's a lot of fun. I hope the fans are enjoying it. It's great for us to get out there. All the guys I played with against, the older guys like Red, Gary Younger, all heroes of mine, doesn't get any better than that playing out first.
Just like the old days, I grab you right after a shift. Congratulations on the first period surviving it. Let's bring in Peter Klima if we can. Schneid's thanks. Peter Klima put his team up ahead 3-2 in this one. Does a goal in a game like this have a little bit of gravy after not playing hockey for a while?
Not really. This is all for fun, We're just trying to stay warm and, have some fun.
All right, so the play here that we have seen, based on the ages of the players we have seen, where would you put the standard here?
Oh, it's like a lot of guys like myself, I didn't play for 10 years. We just started practicing a couple weeks ago and just get a little bit in shape so you don't pull anything, but it's fun.
He still looks like he can play, Peter. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, Peter Klima and the Wings have a 3-2 lead after the first period here at Comerica Park, Kenny.
Yeah, and smiles all around, John. Terrific stuff, and the sun is shining. Scotty Bowman, hats off to the crowd and to him, too. The greats are here. One of 2 we've got for you today. We'll be back to Comerica Park with a whole lot more throughout this afternoon on Fox Sports Detroit.
The Alumni Showdown on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by MGM Grand Detroit, by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849, and by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. The Wings have a 3-2 lead over the Maple Leafs in the first of the 2 alumni games at Comerica Park. The sun is out. The snow is falling. It doesn't get any more idyllic than this.
No, it doesn't. And you can tell the guys are having a great time on the ice. The smiles. They're just starting to kind of chip a little bit at each other, having some fun out there. To me, it's when they talk about, like when Peter Klima, he's talking about not skating for 10 years. He's on the ice all the time. That's different than skating from their mentality. They're on training kids. They work with youth hockey teams. All these, Dallas Drake, the same thing. So they're on the ice a lot. They're not skating to their standards.
Well, there was a parallel between these Red Wings and the current Red Wings that we'll see tomorrow at the Big House. Those 2-0 leads can be a little bit tricky.
Look at you, you are sharp. Yeah, restored by the Peter Klima goal, but yeah, the turnovers in the neutral zone. All the hockey is hockey. The same rules apply. You heard Mick talking about it. Here's how they started out. Red Wings got things going early on. The sliding double pad stack. Doug Pavel digging that one out. Didn't work. Peter Ring goes in. Detroit's up 2-0 right away. You heard Yuri Fisher mic'd up for us with his goals. In back came Toronto. Nice backhand sauce pass by Danny Daoud. I used to love saying that name. Didn't like playing against him too much because he was a good playmaker. Had a really good shot. Klima came back and made a nice play. So I think everybody, you can tell by the fans' reaction to the goals, they're having a great time here at Keats. I mean, that's the thing. The guys are getting a kick out of it at ice level, but the fans themselves, their response to it is really what I think is key to this whole environment. Take a look at the stats.
Nobody cares about the stats in a game like this.
What are you talking about? Yuri Fisher was talking about being +2.
Pulled groins. Everybody survived. That's probably the stat so far.
Right.
There hasn't been anybody who collapsed so far through the first period of the 2 alumni games here at Comerica Park. Shannon Hogan is standing by with one of the Wings who will play in Game 2 here at the ballpark. Shannon?
Yes, I'm over by the Tigers dugout, and out came Kirk Maltby, and I said, what is going on in the clubhouse? Because lots of guys are in there getting excited for Game 2.
Yeah, guys are still trying to see if their equipment fits properly, and some guys that didn't make it in yesterday are still scrambling for some things, but it's exciting not only just to be here doing this today, but seeing some of the guys that we played with back in the 90s and guys that moved on, and guys are reminiscing back there, so it's a lot of fun.
I know you guys like to give each other a hard time in there. You just mentioned a guy trying to get their equipment on. Who have you had a fun time razzing about this whole event?
Well, it's just Ozzy and I kind of go back and forth. Drapes being the guy trying to get 2-a-days going and putting us through the paces to get us in half decent shape for this event. So I think it's just a lot of jabbing going on between everyone. And at the end of the day, we're all excited to be back, not just to play the Maple Leafs in original 6 team, but just to see each other and have fun and play in front of fans again. Now, we're lucky if we have 10 or 20 people in the stands when we play games now. So it's fun, and I think everyone's just soaking it up.
Well, everybody is excited to see you play in the second game. Get in there, get stretched out, get your stuff on. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, I enjoyed it.
All right, Keith, we'll send it back over to you.
All right, Shannon, thanks. Not everybody was automatically in to take part in one of these alumni games. Some had to be wooed in order to play. In a moment, the smooching required to get Chris Osgood committed. Happy New Year. Welcome back inside Comerica Park. The Wings leading the Maple Leafs 3-2 after 1. We talked to Chris Draper in the first period of our first game here, and what made Drapes a success for a long time in this league was his ability to impose his pesky will upon people, teammates and non-teammates alike. He's been retired for a few years, and yet nothing has changed. Shannon Hogan has that story.
We've all heard about former Red Wings forward Chris Draper's tenacious training routine as he and other Detroit alumni prepare for the New Year's Eve showdown against former players from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Equally notorious, however, is teammate Chris Osgood's disdain towards all things exercise. So how is it that Ozzy decided to return to the ice after all? It all started one day at the rink.
And to this day, nobody knows what happened to Ted Lindsay's lucky socks. Was that good? Did we get that? Yeah. Everything's good?
Now fully committed to his new role as a broadcaster, Osgood was at the rink finishing up a feature when he heard some familiar sounds. It was his old Red Wings teammate Chris Draper and his new Fox Sports teammate Darren Elliott. But the two of them training together, that just didn't make sense.
Kidding me? What's going on here?
What's going on? What's going on with you? I told you how much this game meant to me.
What are you doing to get ready for this game? Nothing.
Oh, man. Graves. What's going on? That was awesome. I haven't had so much fun in so long. I almost had a few of them. I guarantee you in 2 weeks, I'll make a few saves. I know I can do this.
The two Stanley Cup champions stared each other down, each not willing to give in. It looked like Draper had found a new starting goalie, and that did not sit well with the Wizard of Oz. So Osgood watched as puck after puck found the back of the net, and with each goal, an old fire burned hotter and hotter.
Fine. I'm in.
All right, let's go. Let's go get dressed. We got a lot of work to do, Oz.
So now Chris Osgood is back between the pipes for the Red Wings alumni. All it took was a little coaxing. And even though Draper and the other Wings are working him pretty hard, if there's one thing Ozzy likes better than relaxing, it's winning. We're all just looking, I'm sorry. We're all just looking at Darren Elliott.
Acting! Bad acting.
No, it wasn't that bad. I said last night on Red Wings Live, too, that I loved your vintage gear. And people were mad that I said vintage since it was, like, from the late 80s. I just meant that it doesn't look like the gear does now.
No, it doesn't look like the gear, and I didn't have my flock of seagulls haircut or anything like that either. But we sure had a lot of fun doing it, and for a great cause. What a great weekend.
And now we know what happened to Ted Lindsay's lucky socks.
The Emmy people have called, and they said no more entries. They have a winner. and we think there'll be more of that as our day continues. In a moment, we'll take you inside the Red Wings dressing room, which on most days in this ballpark is the Tigers clubhouse. You're watching the Winter Festival in downtown Detroit on a great day on Fox Sports Detroit. His new and improved French dip and Swiss sandwich. Now get 2 for $6 for a limited time only. By your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, visit ChevyDetroit.com and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by HAP. HAP helps at every age, stage, and budget. Now let's take a look at the Xfinity high-speed replay. It was Yuri Fisher wearing the microphone for us and putting the Wings on the board with a goal in the early going here in Game 1 of the Alumni Classics at Comerica Park. And he and the Wings have a 3-2 lead at the break. There's a second half still to come in Game 1. The crowd is huddled together on a blustery day in downtown Detroit. We'll continue the second period straight ahead.
And here's what Eddie Mio sees through his eyes. It's 3-2. In the lead is Detroit after having a 2-0 lead in this game, the first of 2 alumni games on a beautiful afternoon, and a peek by Matthew Schneider. And our Red Wings player profile is brought to you by Ram Trucks. There's the John Ogrodnik, Johnny O. Played with the Red Wings on a couple of occasions, 14 seasons in the league. 9 years with Detroit in all through a couple of times. Former 66th overall pick by the Red Wings in '99, and he could score goals. 6 seasons of 35 or more. Scored 55 one year back in '84-'85, which was then a Red Wing record. Obliterated later by the likes of Steve Yzerman. But Johnny Ogrodnik, a very important part of the Red Wings alumni in the National Hockey League. And we've had goaltending changes throughout the night, but Mark LaForest, the nickname Trees, and that would be fitting, wouldn't it?
One of the best
now
nicknames ever, don't you think?
Yeah.
Simple.
Signed by Detroit in '83, played 1 year with Toronto, 2 with the Red Wings for Mark LaForest. And Kevin Hodson at the other end in goal for the Detroit Red Wings. Doug Favell started this game for Toronto. The 68-year-old didn't last long, was beaten for a couple, and the feeling was he didn't want Red Berenson to score on him because Red scored all 6 on him. back in '68. It was the game prior to that Camille Henry of the St. Louis Blues had scored a hat trick, and Red Berenson said, I never had a hat trick. And the next game he went out and had 2. He scored 6.
Still a record.
Pavel, still a record, yeah. Darryl Sittler had his big night. We'll see Darryl in game 2. He had 6 goals and 4 assists in one game against Boston. So the second half is underway. 2 20-minute halves in this game with the last 5 stop time. Games 1 of 2 we've got, and you can take advantage of this monster deal. Purchase tickets to all remaining Red Wing home games for just $9. Starting Saturday, January 4th, as we welcome in 2014 at 10 a.m. Available at DetroitRedWings.com only while supplies last. Some restrictions apply. Face-off coming up to the left of Mark LaForest, who was in Adirondack and won a Calder Trophy back in 1986.
Oh, we got the Mark DeMoore thing going on now, eh? We got the shake.
And John, why the delay now?
Well, Barry Smith, ever the coach, is making sure that everybody has the eye black now that the sun has popped up and become very, very bright. Man, what a scene it is down here on the floor of Comerica Park.
But you don't need it. You're good?
I'm good.
Okay.
I can't see anything anyway.
I put my shades on. Does that count?
Yeah, it helps, sure. I saw Scotty Bowman on the bench. Long-time assistant to Scotty and associate coach Barry Smith. Aaron Ward with a pass ahead and just out of the reach. Arvo Grodnik tried to catch up to it, couldn't. And the Leafs come back the other way. That's knocked off the stick to the line, held in by Brad Marsh. Played back of the goal by Kevin Hodson, and Ward gets the return pass. 3 cups in his career for Aaron Ward, 2 with Detroit, then went on and won another Stanley Cup with Carolina. And Aaron Ward was always a good interview when he played, and now he's on the other end of things, working with the media for TSN in Canada. Warner played it into the middle, grabbed there by Marty Lapointe. With a pass ahead for Miller. That's knocked off Kevin Miller's stick. And the Leafs Claude Loiselle with it. He's already had a hip replacement in his career and may need another, so he wasn't sure how long he could go today. And that seemed to be the story talking to the guys today. It's injuries from their career, as a shot in on goal is save made by LaForest. And Yuri is, if Yuri Fisher can hear me, Yuri, has the sun affected you at all today?
Oh, what a great day. Well, now that it got sunny for the second half, we got a little bit of glare going on. That's why Tinker needed those black eye shades to take a little bit of glare off.
Whatever works. Was the how's the game gone from your team's perspective so far?
Well, we started pretty strong. We got up 2-0 right off the bat. And now Toronto, I think they've been controlling the puck quite a bit. I was expecting a little bit of more dump and chase from Toronto, but now even guys like Brad Mayhe's dangling across the blue line. So not used to that. We had a different pre-scout.
So did Barry and Scotty change their message to you after one?
Well, no double shifting yet. For now, Barry is really managing the bench, and Scotty's got the forward, so we're hoping to get out there again.
All right. Well, have fun. Continue to. Yuri Fisher wearing the mic for us this afternoon here on Fox Sports Detroit. As the Leafs able to get it back to the Detroit line and picked up here by Miller. He's one of 2 23s in this game. He's got the helmet on. Verbeek got checked back in for Miller. Back in front of the net, and they score. Just like that, great pass to Pat Verbeek. And the Red Wings have a 2-goal lead.
Well, that's exactly what Yuri Fisher was talking about. When you play alumni hockey, there's no dump and chase. Everybody's a dangler. And you saw it on that play. Nice movement, passing, and finish, restoring the 2-goal lead.
Matt Verbeek, who won a Stanley Cup with Dallas in '99, then came to Detroit, where he played a couple of years, 20 seasons in the National Hockey League for Pat Verbeek. Often debated whether he's on the cusp or could be perhaps a Hall of Fame candidate. Often for discussion. Dennis Polonich, high energy player, Well, he was a shutdown player when he played with Andre St. Laurent, Paul Woods. They played on a line together for a year and a half.
Boy, was he tough.
Wasn't he? Not a big guy, but yes, you wouldn't want to mess with him. Brent Fedek. Turn it over to Isabart as Polonich was circling. There are 4 number 4s in the Toronto Maple Leaf lineup. Greg Hotham, Corey Cross, and Mike Pellick. So one of them will have the puck at a certain time. You can figure out which one that might be. That looked like Hotham. To Marsh. Hit his own man, but Krushelnyski able to knock it down. Mike had 88 points in his best year and 43 goals did Krushelnyski as an Oiler in the mid-80s. Off the stick of Isabart to be held. Yeah, Darren?
I remember those teams well. Edmonton Oilers teams, look at that scene. There's the vista that everyone's taking in here today. Comerica Park, Alumni Challenge. The sun might have some glare, but it sure makes for a nice view.
Since 1926, 645 meetings of those that count in the standings between Toronto and Detroit. And the Red Wings with just 2 more points. 648 to Toronto's 646. Each team with 276 wins. Amazing. And 145 players have worn both of these iconic sweaters. And 17 in the game today. A little collision in back of the net.
Running the goalie, just like...
We're not going to call anything, though. Francis Getty's been... He would know to do a few of those things through his career.
Oh, boy.
Let's hope Eddie's not hurt.
No, I hope not. I don't think so. Oh, boy. I don't think he was expecting it, that's for sure.
Eddie Meal seems to be okay. Not with the old school mask, as Aaron Ward's back to get it. Well, John Keating has the little ball of hate Pat Verbeek with him.
You're not still the little ball of hate after all these years. Haven't you mellowed? Haven't the years taken some of that edge off of you?
A little, not much. So it depends. I mean, you can ask. Well, some days it hasn't worn off.
All right, the smiles seem to be getting a little bit bigger. Obviously, you guys, have a bit of a lead here over the Maple Leafs. But how much are you sort of basking in the fact that you have a few more minutes to get out here against the Leafs?
Well, I think we're kind of it's cold out here, so we're kind of maybe part of it. So we're looking. The bench is warm anyway, so no, it's great. It's a lot of fun. It's probably the most fun I've had in a long time playing a game. When you take the stuff off, it really takes a lot out of you. And then, when you can get back and relive, memories when playing with these guys, and then even, going through playing against the guys you're playing, it's just a fun time.
Still have family here?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I live here, so it's all my kids are here, and they're going to school in Michigan, so yeah, it's good.
All right, Beaker, thanks. We lost him, Kenny, when Steve Yzerman took that job with the Stinking Lightning down south there.
Yeah, I hear you, and now he's scouting the Red Wings and the East as they come through here, so he gets to spend a lot of time here and in his travels as an assistant there to Steve Yzerman in Tampa Bay. Meantime, Aaron Ward got that goal, so the Red Wings have a 3-goal lead, 5 goals on 19 shots. Toronto with 2 on a dozen. On the Red Wing netminders, Kevin Hodgson and Eddie Mio here this afternoon. Good forecheck there by the Red Baron.
No kidding. Look at him hooking on the hands. All the old tricks.
Oh, yeah. And he still skates with his Wolverines and puts on the full equipment and just lets his players give it to him once in a while, at least once a season. Red Berenson had some great years, and he's won at every level. The only accomplishment he really hasn't had an opportunity to have is the Olympics. That one goes off the post. Red, a former National Hockey League Coach of the Year, and the points that he managed to put up in his NHL career. Top 10 in goals and points a couple of times in the late 60s. Won a cup with Montreal in 65.
Before the rules were changed, one of the few guys to play major junior and then play NCAA hockey.
Matthew Dandeneau with a pass that went off for Beek. Brought back in by Duchesne, who turned at the line, threw it off to an open wing. Miller with it. Evan Miller played it in. The Leafs can't come up with it. They'll try again. Oh, look at Brad Marsh going down to try and block a shot. Oh, wow. And without a helmet on. Okay. Mike Johnson, number 20 in blue for Toronto, played his college hockey at Bowling Green and was signed after a game at Joe Louis Arena that the Leafs played, and Cliff Fletcher signed him that night. Was thinking he'd get back to Bowling Green and collect some things, went and played for Toronto and scored in his first game, and there's number 20 up there now for the Leafs.
Looks like he's just Cadillacing out there. Some of these guys can go harder than the others, and kind of going at the appropriate pace, if you will.
Mike Johnson actually working with Aaron Ward at TSN in Canada. Both have been into the broadcast department.
Well, I'll tell you, Aaron Ward, covering the Southeast Division that I did for so many years, when he was with Carolina, he was a go-to interview.
He was here too. The only problem was Scotty hated it when he was the go-to interview. That was the problem. Why is Aaron talking again, Scotty would say. But proved well for a second career for him, and good on him.
Absolutely. He's good at it.
Yes, he is. Yuri Fisher able to move it ahead. Good poke check there. McElwain. Second attempt, couldn't get it out. Back to the line for Fisher. Unger lurking. Unger, the number 7 without the helmet on. Backing up Yuri Fisher. And the Red Wings will regroup at center ice. With a 3-goal lead, this the second of the 2 halves. The last 5 minutes will be stop time. This game 1 of 2 we'll have for you. Still to come this afternoon for Toronto, the likes of Lanny McDonald and Daryl Sittler. And for the Red Wings, Howe and Lidstrom and Larry Onoff and Shanahan, Yzerman, Mickey Redmond, Chris Chelios, the grind line, Larry Murphy, Paul Coffey. It goes on and on. So the afternoon's just beginning. As Billy Derlago turns. 4 times 30 goals, Billy Derlago in the National Hockey League. After his first year that he scored 30, he said this may not be a good thing. Then they want it every year. But he managed to do it a few more times as Knuebel's right in. Oh, and a sprawling stop by LaForest.
Fans love that one.
Here's some old-time hockey. Now back the other way as McElwain played it back. Can they score? Brad May. No Mayday there from Rick Jenneret, but still a nice goal by Brad May. Gets his team back within a couple. So the former Red Wing and the former Maple Leaf, but first at the other end, Mike Knuebel, the former Wolverine. Great sprawling stop by Trees, Mark LaForest. And at the other end, picking up that loose puck and a nice play for Brad May. Some cloud covers come back in, so that will certainly help the players on the ice. Wearing number 26, there's Mike Krushelnyski. Maple Leafs player profile brought to you by Perani's Hockey World, and I can still hear John Brophy ringing in my ears when Krushelnyski, when he played for the Maple Leafs, played 1 season with Detroit, and John Brophy would be on the bench and yelling, "Skate, Krushelnyski, skate!" You could hear Brof all over the ice. And coming up between games, we'll have a great feature on that terrific 87 series that the Leafs won and in the end did not. With John Brophy back of their bench to Detroit. That was quite the series. So stay tuned for that before we get you to game 2 here this afternoon. And Mike Knuebel, who was robbed earlier, dropped the puck back and into the slot in the shot and knocked away there by LaForest. Picked up by the helmetless Brad Marsh. Little collision there. Knuebel coming in to grab that puck. Trying to get open was Carson. Oh, and it rolled through, and LaForest will hold on.
The Trees hope he's okay. Different equipment than the guys wear today.
I noticed when I saw Doug Favell's equipment in there, and that was circa the mid-'80s. Yeah. And had Ken Holland been able to play today, he would have been wearing similar gear. They changed the stuff up front, but up top, some of the pads, and yeah, he's switched up. Before we get into stop time here, as Jason Woolley's back on defense for Detroit. Schneider with a pass ahead. Half minute from when the clock will stop for the final 5 as Schneider is able to knock it down. What a great career he had. 11 different teams, 4 years with Detroit and 3 with Toronto for Matthew Schneider. Played a couple with Montreal. Krushelnyski getting to it.
Pretty mobile defense they had out there with Woolley, Schneider, and then Danino jumps over the boards.
Jason Woolley now in the player agency business. Obrodnik with a pass ahead for Matthew Danino. Both teams in the midst of line changes here. Good move at the line by Knuble, just recently retired. He was hooked a little bit, but brought on by Hoffman. Francis Getty back in front for Gavin. Played by Boutet, went over his stick. Marty Lapointe with a pass ahead. Still the last top 10 draft pick for the Red Wings. Marty Lapointe with a shot. As he was taken 10th overall in '91, and it's amazing that the success that Detroit Red Wings have had through all the years, and Marty Lapointe still their last top 10 pick. Gavin in front, oh, and a good stop there. Just at the side of the crease, a little slow getting up though for Mio. That went over Francis Getty's stick. Hustling back to get it is Dandino. John Keating standing by with former Red Wing Mike Knuble.
Was that the longest shift in Alumni game history? You didn't come off the ice there.
I'm embarrassed. You know, when your line mates leave you, that's a cue to get off the ice. But I don't know. You just kind of get lost out there sometimes. But yeah, it's fun. It's been a great day. I had 4 attempted passes there and no luck whatsoever. So I should play my own game. I should stick with my game.
You got stoned and then you took a whack at the goaltender. That's going to stick with you for a while.
And then Brad May comes down and scores at the other end. You always see that, right? Isn't that what everybody says? Big save at one end, goal at the other, right?
You just retired 20 minutes or so ago. You're the youngest guy out here, one of the youngest guys out here. How does it feel?
Feels good. You know, I guess I'm the closest removed from the game, but it's an excellent opportunity. Still a lot of fun. I had a chance to play in a real outdoor game. The weather was not even close to as nice as it is out here today.
How surreal is it to have Red Berenson playing on this game on your team with you, just a few years older than you are?
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought it, you know? But I mean, Red's done such a nice job. Keeps himself in really good shape. You know, the player to be able to get out here and play this game and compete with the younger guys.
Mike, great. Appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, guys.
Mike Knuble, of course, and Red Berenson tied forever by the University of Michigan. Kenny?
For sure. Thanks, John. Great stuff. And what a great save while that was going by Mark LaForest. Oh, my, with the left hand to keep his team in this one. And then they get closer. You see, that's... You save them at one end and you score them at the other. And now it's just a one-goal game. Tom Fergus.
First, a great save, as you talked about, the around-the-world glove save by Mark LaForest. Come down the other way. D to D. Screen in front. Eddie Mio can't see it. No chance. It's one former goalie on another. And it's a one-goal hockey game.
Tom Fergus, who scored a personal best 31 goals as a member of the Leafs in 85-86 and had 73 points. Personal best a couple of times in his career, is a very good centerman.
So everybody that played in the 80s was a 30-goal scorer.
Pretty much. Isn't that something?
That's when I was playing goal, so there's a reason for that. There's a correlation there.
That's right. They were just a couple of decades too early.
Oh, funny. I remember we interviewed Brett Hull, and we showed some old footage of him scoring on me in a telecast years and years ago. Somebody said, "What do you think of that goaltending?" He goes, I wish I'd bring it back.
Yeah, and to think that a large part of that they were scoring with wood sticks. Can you imagine?
Yeah. But now the positions change so much for goaltenders. It's interesting to see the different equipment, different styles, all that stuff.
Yes, the equipment and the size. As Mio will hold on, he wants to keep the play going. I mean, nowadays, they don't even look at a goaltender who's under 6 feet. 2 or 3 years from now, all the goaltenders being drafted will be 6'3" and 6'4". It's the way the position has changed. Well, they've tried to make the nets bigger. They haven't done that. Just the goaltenders are getting bigger as LaForest will hang on to that loose puck in the crease. So a 1-goal game with just 1:19 to play. And celebrate hockey with the Red Wings Pick 4-pack. Choose 4 games from a pre-selected list and enjoy benefits like playoff priority. Plus, you'll get a free ticket to see Michigan State on Thursday, January 23rd at Joe Louis Arena. Go to DetroitRedWings.com now for tickets. So will we see the Leafs pull their netminder? What do you think there?
Yes.
Okay.
And Mark LaForest, you'll say, can't be soon enough for his liking.
He better start now then. It could take him a bit to get there.
Exactly. Exactly. There he goes.
He's on his way. Okay, the Maple Leafs have pulled their netminder with a minute to go here. Looking to try to get the tying goal. McElwain had an opportunity, but Dandino stayed with him. Back of the net to Mike Krushelnyski. Couldn't center. Good play by Duchesne. Knocked it up the left wing boards. It was held in at the line by Martin, who has it now at center for Toronto. Right back in come the Leafs with 6 skaters. Krushelnyski pass back into the slot. Knocked off the stick of Mark Osborne. Another former Red Wing. Osborne tries to center. Loose in the crease. Mio down, and the puck stays out as Duchesne flipped it past Osborne. And a try for the empty net, and it's just wide with 18 seconds left. So now they call icing. So we're going with touch icing here. No hybrid. Let's take a look at our big boys' big play of the game.
Eddie Mio, traffic in front, under siege any way possible. Eddie gets a piece of the puck, and now they're going to put them back together again.
Oh, the microphone issue, and Ronnie Hogarth over there to help out. So not that they couldn't use the timeout. It was called by Toronto with 14 seconds left as Klima and Ward and Berenson, Lapointe and Fisher meet to discuss strategy. Well, Red Berenson should be coaching that group, I would think.
I'm sure he is.
Yes, there he goes. Let's watch Red conduct this. At the other end, it's Mike Krushelnyski.
There's a look at Peter Klima with that patented tape job of his. I remember playing at the Joe. I was playing for the Kings. He scored 3 different breakaways on me. All I can remember was that stick. He shot once, he deked left, he deked right, and he hit the crossbar in a 4th.
Off the faceoff with the net empty for Toronto, trying to get the equalizer. The shot to the goal was blocked in front. Klima tries to get over. McElwain first for Toronto. 3 Leafs are down low. Chance here on a kick save by Mio to preserve the victory. And he even gets congratulations from the Maple Leafs as Detroit wins Game 1, 5-4. Nice effort there by Eddie Mio.
That is fantastic. I mean, all for fun and all well and good, but a good shot and a better save.
Kick save and a beauty.
That's a kick save and a beauty. Truer words were never spoken.
So Dan Daou had the opportunity. So smiles all around, and for both teams, you bet. Great effort here. Barry Smith, one of the Red Wings coaches this afternoon, along with Scotty Bowman. They'll be doing some double duty. There's Dan Maloney, longtime NHL great enforcer. Was he ever a tough guy? Dan now working in the real estate business north of Toronto, up in Barrie, Ontario.
This will be a long line, as they all have more than just a good game kind of congratulations in the line.
Tom Watt. Yep, Tom Watt and Scotty Bowman. Maybe this will bode well for the Red Wings, Darren. They've had trouble on home ice.
Changing the luck. The Alumni,
yeah.
If it does, they'll take credit for it.
For sure. What a beautiful scene this is.
Glad to see Doug Pavel's out there. He didn't get hurt. He just wanted to have kind of a ceremonial start. Now you're going to have the double picture.
It was sort of like what the Flyers did with Bertie Perrott, but nobody was allowed to score on Bernie. He made the great breakaway save. John Keating.
All right, with Marty Lapointe, before he gets a chance to get his mug in this picture, how much fun was this?
Oh, it was great. I mean, having a chance to play with Red Berenson, I mean, it's a dream come true. I mean, seeing a lot of older guys and you know, being able to play outside in front of those fans, I mean, what a great feeling.
All right, go take the picture. We'll get you in just a second. All right, while he does that, we'll tell you that the smiles down here among these guys just ear to ear, because even though they might be, you know, a little bit older than kids when it comes to playing hockey, and particularly a game involving Detroit and Toronto. There's Scotty Bowman getting into the picture. Hold on, everybody is saying, because you can't have a picture like this without the coaching legend Scotty Bowman. But I can tell you, having been down here, the feeling was absolute warmth amidst temperatures that are probably single digits when you factor in the wind chill here at Comerica Park, but the sun has added a very nice element to this day, I think.
Lanny McDonald. Number 22, Tiger Williams. Number 16, Mike Walton. Number 20, Ty Domi. Number 22, Mike Gartner. Number 25, Joe Neuendijk. Number 32, Steve Thomas. And number 11, Steve Sullivan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and kindly remove your hats. Active duty and retired military may keep their hats on while rendering the military salute. Please welcome Detroit's own Thornetta Davis for the singing of the Canadian and American national anthems.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot, loving all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the whole
And finally for Toronto, number 27, Shane Corson. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the Red Wings bench and welcome to the ice for today's ceremonial puck drop, two Red Wings legends, Mr. Ted Lindsay and Mr. Gordie Howe. Will the captains please come to center ice for a ceremonial puck drop?
Daryl Sittler, Steve Yzerman, Mark helping his dad Gordie out there with Ted Lindsay. How beautiful is this? That wink and that gleam in Gordie's eye as the crowd chants Gordie. Daryl Sittler, a Red Wing for a short time at the end of his career. And the great ovation that Steve Yzerman got as he made his way to the ice just after Mickey. 15 Hall of Famers in this game, including Scotty Bowman, 10 for Detroit, 5 for Toronto. Mike Shaky Walton there with Mickey Redmond, Curtis Joseph, and Wendell Clark, who knew Ted Lindsay from his time here in Detroit, albeit a short time, and all the players. How cool is this that all the players, Mick, if you can hear us, that everybody not wants just to meet you, but with Gordie and Ted. How cool, Mick.
How are you, man? Good to see you. Hi, boys. How are you? Hi, guys.
Lindsay.
Hi, big guy. Hi, Bobby. Have a good one. Hi, Dark. How are you, man? Get her going out there. Hi, Mike. How you doing, buddy? Hey, Gary. Good game, buddy. You all set? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. How you doing, guys?
The recently retired linesman Mark Perry, and there's Mick with a referee with Ronnie Hogarth. Look at that, Mick. You and refs, you're together again.
We're making peace down here, Ron Hogarth and I. Yeah, he's telling me we got a curfew to get to somewhere else for a post-game ginger ale, so there's no offsides today. How about that?
You know what? I had 3 guys wanting me to toss them out of the game already, and I said, you know what? It's so cold. You act up, you're staying till the end.
Reverse rules today, guys. He said nobody gets tossed out. You got to stay here. Not too bad actually down here now. The wind is shut down a little bit, but what a sight this is to look around this stadium and to see all these Leaf jerseys and Red Wing jerseys, and it's a beautiful thing.
And all the players, Mick, they really wanted to see Gordie and Ted, didn't they?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Gordie's still got a great sense of humor. Got the elbows up in the dressing room and cracking jokes and all kinds of stuff. And Teddy's been under the weather a little bit, but he's feeling better and ready to work out. And they're bringing Vladdy out here right now.
All right.
What a trooper this guy is. The Russian 5 is alive and well. God bless him. Slava Fetisov next to him. Papa Bear, we called him. When they first played in Calgary that night, Calgary only got 8 shots on goal, and the Russian 5 had the puck all night long. I said they got to get the Dramamine out. They were chasing him around. They were dizzy.
They want Vladdy out there, and this would be the starting lineup, the Russian 5.
Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that. That good or what? Where's it?
Mick, you remember that first night in Calgary, the Russian 5, what the Flames have, 8 shots on goal?
Yeah, 8 shots on goal. They had the puck all night out. Where's the Russian 5? Where's Igor? Where's Igor? Where's Larionov? You got to get Larionov over here. Where's Igor?
Hold on.
Iggy.
And a boy, as Mick directs traffic.
Trying to get Igor over here. Get the Russian 5 back together one more time. Where's Igor? Can't find him.
He's got him right in front of you.
Huh? They got him?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you get underneath me. That was something else that night in Calgary to watch, I'm going to tell you. Boy, oh boy. And Konstantinov, probably the year he had his greatest year before the accident, he should have won the Norris Trophy. Didn't by politics alone, and then the accident, unfortunately. But what a defenseman he was. He made you pay, boy, if you had your head down coming over center ice. What a battler he was. And he had some offensive skills. Scored some playoff goals on Eddie Belfour in Chicago. He was something else. And he's lots of smiles here right now with Fetisov next to him.
I remember how happy Sergei Fedorov was when Scotty Bowman told him on the plane that they'd be getting Igor Larionov in a deal, and they'd be the Russian Five together.
Well, Kazi's standing here to my right. He's still playing in the KHL, for goodness sake. We tried to sneak him in here. Nobody knows that. So he's in pretty good shape.
Well, Sergei's been playing.
Igor Larionov sits with me. Ken Daniels up in the...
Hi, Ken. How you doing?
Great, Igor.
We were just talking about that one night in Calgary. 8 shots on goal. You guys had the puck all night long. You're circling around. I said they got to get dizzy medicine to keep up with you guys.
Well, you know, we didn't tell Scotty, so we're going to control the puck all night. So, and he wasn't happy at the beginning. So then we scored a couple of goals. He was okay with that.
That shut him up, didn't it?
Right.
Well, Scotty's still full of chin music here, Ken, tonight. He was after these guys in the dressing room to shut up and be quiet. And are you playing or listening? So he's still the boss.
Did he tell you who you're playing with?
I guess we got. I'm not sure. To tell you the truth, we got 4 guys on the 3rd line or 4th line, and we're going to rotate. McCarty and I probably on the right side.
All right. Well, you nudge him for some ice time if you want. And I know that Scotty's going for knee replacement surgery in Florida next week, isn't he?
Yeah, he had the other one done a few years ago, and but he's good. He had a little bit of medicine. He's ready to go. He's behind that bench, and he got a warmer going and get the hat on, the Red Wing jacket on. He's happy to have that on. He said, "I'm not wearing anything else but that."
And I wonder if Scotty's going to send somebody out there to get Tiger Williams. There was a playoff series in Vancouver. Tiger hit Scotty over the stick with his head. Scotty said Tiger said it was an accident. He didn't think so, though.
Oh, no. Well, even if it wasn't, he'd say it wasn't an accident. You know how he is.
You got it. All right, Mick, you go get ready for the game,
boys.
and we'll talk to you
Talk to you in a
throughout.
bit.
You got it. There's Tiger Williams. We're just speaking of our Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Bring you our starting goaltenders tonight. And there's Mike Palmateer, drafted in the 5th round by Toronto back in '74. And what a series he had in '77-78, where the Leafs came out of nowhere to beat the New York Islanders on Lanny McDonald's overtime winner. Chris Osgood starting in goal for Detroit. How do you feel, Chris?
Can you hear? I feel not bad. I feel good. Can you hear me?
You nervous?
Am I nervous? No.
Attaboy. You never get nervous.
Blast. I said this is the same as when I played. I'm stiff, I'm cold. I have you talking to me. I'm doing play-by-play. So the same as always, I got a ton of voices in my head. But somehow, some way I'm gonna get by.
I bet at the alumni dinner a ton of these guys had voices in their heads last night too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But somehow they're all out here today. Well, we'll silence those voices for a minute. We'll let you get into the game because you want to handle that first shot, and I know you do. So we're all set to go. This, what can be a Hall of Fame game. And look at Igor Larionov. He's got Sergei Fedorov on his right. Sergei just arrived from Switzerland. His team lost in the final of the Spengler Cup. So he just came here, a lot of travel. Daryl Sittler and Larionov on the draw, and we're underway as Fetisov, and it must be the honorary member of the Russian Five, Doug Brown, as Bronov is out there for Detroit. As Larionov tips one over to Sergei Fedorov. Watched out there by Tiger Williams. Larionov without the helmet as it comes back to the line. Brown kept that puck in, circling up high. Larionov looked back that way for him. Brown toward the goal. That was blocked. And that's Jamie McCowan with that lovely hat on. Number 34 gets it ahead. Move quickly to McDonald with a shot. And Lanny McDonald sent it high and over top of the goal.
Boy, how many times did he do that in his career down the wing with that quick shot?
It was pretty close to that when the Leafs beat the Islanders. Palmateer came out when Palmateer was in goal that night when Toronto went crazy before they were swept by Scotty Bowman's Canadiens in the next round in '78. Osgood out to play it away from Lanny McDonald. What a tremendous career Lanny had. Slava Fetisov, 9 seasons in the NHL and nearly 900 international games for Fetisov. Brown getting checked at center. That's Rick Vive, another number 22 for Toronto. Many numbers will seem familiar. Toronto had so many who wanted to play in this hockey game tonight. Clive, who was Toronto's first 50-goal scorer, knocked it deep, sent ahead by Brian Rafalski. And the Leafs regain control. Brian Berard, another number 34 for Toronto, along with McCowan. Rick Vibe moving up on it, the former Leaf captain. Watched there by Rafalski, went back to the line, but Berard had moved in, and the puck will sail down into Toronto territory. 2 25-minute halves, the last 10 minutes of each half stop time. Brendan Shanahan up there. There's Yzerman, looks in front of the goal. They bang away at it, and Palmateer was there, and a chance in front by Dino Ciccarelli. So Ciccarelli with Shanahan and Yzerman as Domi dropped one back, looked to return pass, and Nick Lidstrom able to intercept there. And it looks as though he could still play, coaching his son's team overseas in Sweden, always in great shape. The guys at practice yesterday, and especially the Maple Leafs, watching Nick Lidstrom skate, saying, my goodness, he could still be playing.
Well, he was in perfect position on that play, as we saw a gazillion times throughout his career.
Long stretch pass is a beauty to Draper. The best in shape in this game. Draper's been running all the Red Wing practices. There's Chelios. Over to Draper, and they just missed on a connect there. And Darcy Tucker played one, number 16. Boy, he laid out some big hits in his time with Toronto. Brought back in by the Maple Leafs. Centered back in front by one of 3 number 11s, and Gartner and Sullivan. And what a career Gartner had in the National Hockey League. Chelios couldn't do anything with that. Knocked down at center ice by Larry Onok.
What we remember about Mike Gartner was his consistency and his ability to skate.
Well, consistently, 15 consecutive years of 30 goals or more. Remarkable.
Yep.
Dave Andrechuk, number 14 for Toronto, knocked it down. Andrechuk won a cup with Tampa Bay in 04. Doug Gilmour. That was that deal. Gary Lehman went to Calgary for Doug Gilmour, and what was an 11-player deal, and that turned Toronto's franchise around in the early 90s. A shot by McCarty, held by Palmateer. Let's check in. Who's John Keating got?
All right, Kenny, thanks. With Chris Chelios, and your jersey is all marked up. Tell me about that.
Well, I don't want to have to worry about it afterwards. Guys might not be here. They could be in the hospital. So I got it all done, and now it's going to be fun.
Everybody has signed your jersey?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I got everybody, including Gordie Howe and Ted Lindsay, so made my day.
Your fitness is legendary. How much have you been working toward this particular game?
You know what? I've been working out since I've been done, but not skating. So there's you know, shape, and then there's skating shape. So I feel not very well right now. So I had my first shift, and I got through. But as the game goes on, hopefully feel a little better.
How much lying was there in the dressing room before this game started?
Well, Izzy's skates look 3 sizes too big, so he ain't lying. He hasn't skated.
Shelly, thanks.
Okay, you guys. Thanks.
Chris Chelios, his fitness will pick up as this game goes on, he says, Kenny.
I'm sure. Playing in the shadows of his establishment here in downtown Detroit. The first time I think he's ever played in any shadows. Great save! Oh, Osgood, nice stop right there. That was Roberts, I think, in front.
Fans loving it.
Roberts and McDonald both wearing number 7. A chance there, and Palmateer with a sliding save.
Right out of the 70s.
We've got Mick out there now. Carried back in Fedorov, and a save made by Mike Palmateer.
Some classic goaltending by Palmateer. And then Ozzy with a more new school, paddle down, spreading out post to post. Attaboy, Ozzy. And at the other end, Mike Palmateer with a diving, sliding poke check, surprising Slava Kozlov. Great stuff.
Chelios held one in, and Palmateer another save with Ciccarelli right there off the side of the post. Mark Howe will go back to get it. 22 pro seasons. Watched there by Gary Lehman, not in a familiar number 11 for Toronto, but number 4. Knocked down at the line as the Leafs will recover as Lehman sent one back. Pass ahead there for Wendell Clark. Very short time, Detroit Red Wing for Wendell. Was acquired from Tampa Bay for Kevin Hodson and a second-round pick in March of '99. Clark with a shot, and that'll be held by Chris Osgood.
Wendell Clark with that wrist shot, and look at those pads, Mike Palmateer. Those are legitimately right out of the 70s. I loved him as a kid growing up when I was watching him on Hockey Night in Canada because he caught with the right hand just like me. And he was fantastic in his appearance, and they're going to make that change. Felix the Cat Potvin now in goal for the Maple Leafs.
And he was really, Palmateer, really unorthodox.
Yes.
As Chris Osgood will go off now, and this is pretty much holding the plan what they wanted to do. He said he wanted to switch with Manny every 7 minutes or so. I'm not sure Palmateer will necessarily be back, as Curtis Joseph also with Toronto. Scores! Doug Brown with a top shelf shot.
And that's what's no fair for the guy who starts on the bench as a goaltender. Nice shot like that by Brown. Good play, taking it wide, Kenny.
Yeah, Maltby gave him that puck. Yeah, Potvin didn't have the glove up there, did he?
No, he was always the guy that played down and deep, even in his prime.
Well, Potvin had some great series for Toronto. The year when Gretzky and the LA Kings beat the Leafs in '93 when they had that great run. Manny Legacy now in goal for Chris Osgood at the other end. You feel good there, Manny?
No,
you feel
I'm
good?
absolutely frozen right now.
So I was right, huh, Manny, when I said that the guy that starts on the bench starts with a handicap.
Well, you're going to go every 7 minutes or so. Here you go, Manny. Get ready.
Oh, he missed it.
Attaboy, Manny. You just do play-by-play. Go for it.
I got it. I got it. No problem.
Take it away.
Drapes is flying out here again. Look at this, driving wide.
Chelios.
Who is that? Kelly?
Yep.
Tell him to play defense.
Oh, sure. Spoken by a true netminder. You've got Lidstrom back. What else do you have to worry about?
You're true. Very true.
That was smooth, Nick, just like
he
you always
still
do.
play and win a Norris, that man.
I would think so.
Oh, it's right in front. Get it away, Murph.
The helmetless Larry Murphy. Short time with Toronto. Didn't go well there, but boy, it sure went well for Larry here in Detroit.
Oh, how about that tic-tac-toe?
Set up by Lidstrom from the back end. Gets it back from Murphy. 5 and 55 together again. Lidstrom tried to go Murphy's way. Actually had a shot blocked.
Pete Waltz.
McGuire got in front of that. Kirk Maltby played one ahead. Well, you look at the numbers from the career, Maltby and Draper, each with 21 shorthanded goals in their career with Detroit. Passed in front, and Maltby tried to kick it from Draper. There's the grind line back together there, Manny.
Yep, love that line.
And Scotty Bowman said he had the idea of the grind line coming together because he had Riseborough, Lambert, and Tremblay in Montreal and felt they always set the table. Here you go.
Oh!
Nice.
Well, right leg.
Right leg, quick with the stick. So he knew from Montreal days and how great, and even when Koser was such a big part of that too, centered in front by Holmstrom. I'm really looking forward when Curtis Joseph comes in goal for Toronto and Holmstrom can get in front of him. Joseph said Holmstrom was the biggest pain in the butt, literally, he'd ever played against.
Well, how about trying to skate with those two? You had Dino go get the puck one time in the corner, Homer in front. Then Dino go get the puck, Homer goes in front.
Tipped in front of the goal. Good stop, Manny Legacy. Tucker centered one. High slot.
Good block for T-Slaw. Oh, did you see that block?
We did. Way to pump up your mates.
Oh.
Holmstrom got one ahead to Larionov. Larionov circling, high slot. Fake, a shot. Telio scores!
Look at him go.
Chili with the celly.
That's better than what Tiger Williams ever did, I'll tell you that. A Chelly Selly.
How would that breakdancing move?
Well, if he comes out of this game with an injury, we know how it happens.
He beats Felix Potvin. Detroit up 2-0 as they were in game number 1 before the Leafs came back to tie it. Dougie Gilmour stops inside the line, looks over for Brian Berard, and that was knocked away. Fedorov dropped one back. Turning is Kozlov. Paul Coffey put one toward the goal, stick in the lane though, able to clear that. Back to the point. Fedorov looks for it. And remember, he's out there with Mickey Redmond, his familiar number 20, and we have an offside call.
First whistle of the day.
As Mickey Redmond goes for a break, a little break dance from Chris. I wonder if Ty was telling him, I wouldn't do that. You're showing us up. No, not a chance. Here comes Murph. Into the glove, knocked down by Potvin. Who are you looking forward to most facing today, Manny?
Nobody. I was hoping they didn't show up.
Who gave you the most trouble on the other side in your career? Anyone in particular?
Ty Domi always scored on me for some reason. I don't know why it is.
You were the one.
He broke up my shutout with 7 seconds once.
Gilmour tried to feed it through, but knocked away by Howe. Shanahan out there with Yzerman and Cicerelli. Steve Yzerman carries in, went back for Shanahan, knocked down though. Played up the wing for Nieuwendyk. Though Nieuwendyk played just one season in Toronto. Manny with a little collision in front, got some help.
Where did that come from? I have no idea.
Shanahan carrying back in deep with it. Centered one. Picked up by Gary Roberts. Roberts, who's still training Steven Stamkos, trying to get him back in a rehab from the broken tibia. Gary Roberts has become a fitness fanatic. Always was when he played, able to come back from the severe neck injury, which many thought ended his career. But what a season Gary Roberts had.
That put him on that fitness path, Kenny.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Backhanded by Bob McGill, Big Daddy, nickname number 15 in blue. Played one season with the Red Wings too. McGill over to get it. Fetisov got there first for Brown, who opened the scoring. Gets a return feed from Thomas Holmstrom. Brown went back to the line with it. Nieuwendyk able to intercept. The puck's back at center. Lidstrom's got it. Mick, how you feeling?
Are you coming to me, Kenny?
I am. How you doing?
You're breaking up.
Are you feeling okay? All right, we'll connect with you in a moment. But he's not huffing and puffing too badly, and that's good. Wendell Clark goes after it. Clark, the former Leafs first overall pick. He was selected at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. Back when the draft didn't get the all the hoopla it does these days.
I saw that line with Clark, Courtnall, and Thomas, 3 guys that could wrist it.
Sure could. Stevie Thomas finished up his career in Detroit. Very good friend of Steve Yzerman, and now Steve Thomas, an assistant coach for John Cooper in Tampa Bay. Turning with it, Maltby. In behind for Draper. Watched by McCowan. Along with Dave Ellett. Russ Courtnall digging it free. Russ Courtnall traded for John Kordic. Deal with Montreal when John Brophy wanted toughness, and that was one that didn't work out for Gord Stellick, then GM, nor the Maple Leafs. Courtnall could sure score. Here's the Red Wings working it through, and a save made by Potvin with McCarty with the opportunity.
Courtnall was a skilled player.
Sure was.
They played on Team Canada together, 84 Olympics.
And brother Jeff.
Yeah, good player as well.
Back to get it is Rafalski. Cup with Detroit in 08. A Red Wing from 07 to 11, and just decided to retire before many thought that he actually would. There's Mickey. Redmond, a safe play in behind, just like you'd expect. We could telestrate that for all you kids out there. That was perfect. And sent back in by Tiger Williams. Held at the line. Here's McDonald. Shot, scores!
snap that.
Lanny McDonald over the glove of Chris Osgood. Chris, I know you never saw that. You never saw it. Look at that old helmet Lanny's got.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you want to analyze that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I got you. That was a good shot, Chris.
That was a good shot.
Can you hear me?
Gotcha.
More importantly, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear.
How did that go in?
It's classic. One of my legends, Lanny McDonald, grew up watching him. Tiger Williams screened me. Beautiful thing. Sometimes you just got to face the facts.
Love it. Fedorov with a good pass. Kozlov. Slava Kozlov, who was traded for Dominik Hasek. Fedorov getting open. What a goal! Wow. And a plus for Mick. Way to go, Mick. Nice play.
Mick, you got your telestrator out there.
What do you got?
Can you telestrate that, Mickey?
They can't telestrate that kind of stuff.
All right, give us your description of it, though.
Well, it's just a little bit of patience. Around the net, you wait for him to make a move, find a hole, and get it to number 91 right there. Right there.
That was one great pass, Mick. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Feels good.
3-1,
Okay.
so they get the McDonald goal right back. Here's Shanahan right in. Held in by Lidstrom. Shanahan shoots and scores! We've seen that a number of times.
We have. And I'll tell you, he got the puck. Lidstrom to Shanahan in the high slot. And Shanny looked and said, should I rip it? I've got to rip at least one. And look, watch. Yeah, I might as well. And wow, rip it he did.
And at Comerica Park, they're playing the Irish jig. So it's the Red Wings by 3 here in the first half of two 25-minute halves in the second half for a doubleheader on Fox Sports Detroit. Pass ahead. Drop back by Walton. Away with it was Shanahan. Taken away by Tucker. That went high over Chris Osgood's left hand. Tucker played it back into the corner.
Find you.
Domi went back to the line that was out of reach of Bob McGill, who will go back to get it. McGill with a pass ahead. Tucker into the right wing corner. Paul Coffey in there. Coffey and Chelios on defense together. My goodness. 3 Norris trophies for Paul Coffey. 3 Norris trophies for Chris Chelios. Both Hall of Famers. 26 seasons in the league for Chelios. 21 and 4 cups for Coffey. Chelios to center. Off the wing and a try. Joe Kocur back to his number 26 after the introduction, wearing number 24 for Bob Probert. Nice touch. But there's 24, Chelios. Holmstrom takes a look, finds Kocur on the right wing. Kocur back in front for Holmstrom. What a good save. And another shot, bodies in front. Moving up with it was McCabe. Off a stick to the near side. Put back in deep by Doug Gilmour. Darren McCarty able to find that puck. Puck poked away at the line and turning with it, Andrechuk to Gilmour. Back here to Berard. Went back for Gilmour. Rafalski took it, a back pass there. Chris Osgood down and up. Andrechuk getting it back. Number 33, Al Iafrate, the Dearborn, Michigan native. Big body had moved in.
Great find.
Centered into the slot, but Maltby gave one back to Fetisov.
Slava, sick.
Played ahead, intercepted there, especially with Washington. Red Wings will regain control. Brian Rafalski again for Fetisov. And back at center, played back there by Gary Roberts. Brian Berard. He nearly had his career ended by a very serious eye injury, but stick caught him when also with Ottawa. Save made off Kozlov by Potvin. And Felix Potvin will hold on. So the Red Wings ahead by 3. A beautiful look at Comerica Park on a great day in Detroit. And a great day for hockey. Badger Bob had it right.
Back on a spectacular day in downtown Detroit. There have already been 100 moments that you'll remember forever, but one of them was Joey Kocur wearing Bob Robert's number 24 jersey coming onto the field here at Comerica Park. Tell me about that.
You know what? I played a lot of years, had a lot of fun. I love Proby, and I wished he could be here, and since he can't, I wanted to honor him by wearing his jersey out here.
You feel like he is here because of that gesture, because it is Wings and Maple Leafs?
Oh, I absolutely do believe it. He and I had a lot of fun, spent a lot of times fighting together against these blue and white, and yeah, he's here in spirit.
All right, how are you holding up?
Loving it, loving it.
Nobody's had a bigger smile through this whole week, I think, than Joey Kocur. Joey, thanks. Kenny?
And that tribute John made all us smile for sure. Joe Kocur, to think 20th in penalty minutes in NHL history. The guy on the other side, Tiger Williams, number 22, is the leader all time. Nobody's had more penalty minutes than Dave Tiger Williams. 3,966 spent in the penalty box. Flip pass out front, Kozlov to Fedorov. And it's Steve Thomas for Nieuwendyk. Joe Nieuwendyk with 3 Stanley Cups in his career. Shifty move there by Fedorov, who's still playing overseas in the KHL. Back to Kozlov. Late man coming. There it is. Kozlov off a nice feed from who else? Portnoy trying to get it away from Slava Kozlov, who was traded to Buffalo in the deal that brought the Red Wings Dominik Hasek. And when Dom came back on a second occasion, as the Leafs come in, a shot in, and Legacy was down to get that. And when Dominik Hasek was reacquired, Curtis Joseph was here as Redmond carries through center. Mikey Redmond on Jamie McCowan. He was wearing his beautiful hat in the warm-up. McCowan's wearing his for the game. Carried back in by Brian McCabe. With a drop pass to Courtnall to McCabe and a shot. Attaboy, Manny, you're ready for that. Here's Wendell Clark for Courtnall. Courtnall and Clark in their time, 2 great young Leafs. Shanahan on the intercept. Just kicked it ahead. Don't have to worry about any suspensions today, will Brendan? Out there along with Mickey Redmond and Steve Yzerman. Shanahan shoots. That was up high and hurt bar. Yzerman moved in on the forecheck, try to get it away from Courtnall. Wendell Clark couldn't get past the old reliable Howe. Shanahan back in. Red Wings in the midst of a change. Back in front, knocked away by McCowan. Shanahan hustling over on Lanny McDonald. He came in with that old type helmet and still has it, Darren.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Old style mustache too, and he still has that. A little grayer now.
And the cup-winning goal with the Calgary Flames, the first time ever on Montreal Forum ice. The cup was won by an opponent. And it was Lanny McDonald. And his good pal there, Daryl Sittler, with a good opportunity. 12 years in Toronto, 1 in Detroit for Sittler, a Hall of Fame induction in '89. Back in '78, Daryl Sittler at 117 points. He's now 63 years young. Chelios, the first collision of the game, would certainly involve him.
Tiger Williams was the other one. Certainly involved him.
Perfect. Good save there by Potvin on a redirect by Larionov. Less than a minute to go in this first half. Williams carries in. when he used to ride the stick in celebration. Oh, there's a collision running the goaltender.
Tiger Williams.
Just what you'd expect from him.
And there's Joey going over.
Yeah, Manny, you might be smart to stay away from that one.
Yeah, Joey better show up in time.
Yep. Tiger will move one. McGill got two, and Chelios with a good feed ahead by Draper. Five laid one back for McGill. Number 18, Kevin McGuire, cleared it out to center. There were so many Leafs, former Leafs, who wanted to play in this game. It's a shame that Sundin and Salming, neither of the two great Swedes, could make it. There's a great Swede. Thomas Holmstrom has the puck to close the opening period. Chris Chelios with a beautiful goal and an even a better celebration as the Red Wings with a 3-goal lead after the first 25 minutes of this game. And a reminder that you can take advantage of this monster deal. You can purchase tickets to all remaining Red Wings home games for just $9 starting Saturday, January 4th at 10 in the morning. Available at DetroitRedWings.com only while supplies last. Some restrictions apply, and you know it's been too long for the Winds to come at home, so that's going to turn around in the second half of this season, which will be game number 42 when the Red Wings and Leafs continue outside, and they'll be there tomorrow. John Keating with Steve Yzerman.
All right, Kenny, thanks. The ovation that you received here at Comerica Park, obviously it was goosebump stuff for us. How was it for you?
Well, you know, I used to come and watch the Tigers. I remember coming and watching them play Oakland in the World Series, and always envisioned myself walking out on the field to an ovation, but it was in a Tigers uniform. So it was pretty cool, actually. You know, this is a lot of fun. I'm glad I'm here. I'm enjoying it, and kind of got the itch here to play hockey again. So I really appreciate the ovation. It's nice to be back here.
It was almost this cold when you came to see the Tigers play the A's.
Yeah. Exactly, it was.
Stevie, thanks. Welcome back.
No
We're also here with Sergei Fedorov, who flew literally around the world to be a part of this.
Not that much, no.
All right, where'd you come from? What was the process of getting here?
Switzerland, Davos, Zurich, Amsterdam, Detroit.
Well, that's
not too bad.
Yeah, that's a lot. How much did you want to be here?
How many people show up today?
Yeah,
that's a lot too. So,
what did it feel like walking back onto to a rink here in Detroit?
I don't know. It was so many emotions. At times it was surreal, you know. But it was great to see all the guys. Give them a hug. Talk about some stuff. How you doing?
And the fact that Scotty Bowman started the Russian 5 and you got a chance to see Vladdy come onto the ice again, stick taps all around.
Yeah, that's unbelievable moments. We all know what's going on with that, and I appreciated that Scotty thought of that and give Vladdy a chance to be with us on the ice again. And he seems to be ready to go. He was swinging that stick.
All right, it's always great to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Sergei Fedorov, he has a goal, and the Wings have the lead after the first period of 2 in our second alumni game here at Comerica Park, Kenny.
And you see the knee from Steve Yzerman, the rebuilt knee, obviously still a struggle. And Sergei Fedorov, what a career, and it's not over yet, still playing for the team that he manages in the Continental Hockey League, so he's in great shape. Great players, great game. Back with
Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by MGM Grand Detroit. By Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. This day has turned out to be absolutely perfect. Terrific hockey weather for hockey history, really, in downtown Detroit. A chance to see the Wings and Maple Leafs do battle again. The Wings won the first game 5-4, and they're winning the second game 4-1. And we have seen, and I mentioned goosebump stuff a lot, but there are moments to this day that I think anybody who has followed hockey in this town will carry with them forever.
And I know I'm really partial, as we all are. I think hockey players are special, and what you saw with Mr. Hockey, and he's Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe, forever. These guys are Hall of Famers and legends in their own right. They all wanted to line up, tap, shake his hand, tap the ice. That was certainly one of those moments.
Yeah. Also, Ted Lindsay and Vladimir Konstantinov. Those are the moments that will leave with us from Comerica Park today. But let's take a look at the highlights. And it was all Red Wings, really, in the first period.
It was. That play to the outside. Good shot. Brown finds a short side, rips it, and it's 1-0. Detroit looked good, actually. I mean, I don't want to say that they look better, but they look a lot better. They got some guys that are still closer to their prime, maybe, and they're showing it. They're Chelly with a change of pace, and the Chelly Selly. That's something we'll all remember. Unbelievable. Going the other way, Landy McDonald. And Ozzie had a great comment there. He goes, hey, I used to watch Tiger Williams and Landy McDonald as a kid growing up, and sometimes you just have to own it. His heroes scored, and what a play by Mick. He'd be able to telestrate that one out of the corner. And the final goal make it 4-1 after the first half/period. Shanahan saying, I can still do it. Do I want to do it? One time more with the wicked wrister from the high slot.
All right, let's take a look at our first period stats and shots on goal, scoring chances, power plays. Tiger tripped by the blue line. Or time stripped by the blue line.
Yeah, how about
that? There were actually at one point the referee said, "Oh, we'll fix that hole in the ice," after somebody fell down. But
was I afraid who tripped on the blue line? Tiger Williams trying to stir things up, but Joey Kocur was there. Talk about tributes too. He made that nice gesture with Bob Probert. You talked to Kocur about that. All kinds of great stuff in that first half.
Yeah, and after Chris Chelios celebrated his goal, Ty Domi came up to him and was going to give him a little bit of the business, and Chelly said on the bench, I'm still afraid of him after all this time. Well, we talked to Steve Yzerman, the longtime captain of the Red Wings. Another longtime captain is Nick Lidstrom. He's with Trevor Thompson.
Well, it was just like old times. Nick Lidstrom setting up Brendan Shanahan for a goal against the Maple Leafs. Got to be a lot of fun out there, Nick.
It is. It's a great time. Fun being with the guys and fun playing against the Leafs again. And we're all having a good time out there.
That's the first thing I noticed, a big smile on your face and everybody else's face that walks by. How much fun are you guys having, if you can express it?
No, we're just having a blast. It feels like you're back playing again with old teammates and like you played 15 years ago. But you can tell everybody's having a lot of fun.
He's getting ready for tomorrow night.
What's the funniest thing that's happened so far on the ice or on the bench that's gone on so far?
On the bench, maybe when Chelly scored. It's all the highlights so far. I didn't know he was going to do it. He'd done it a few times in practice, but you know, he's something else. I don't know. I couldn't do that.
And what about seeing this guy walk into the room again today?
That was great. It was great seeing Sergei again, and you know, we were teammates for a long time. It was great to have him back in town.
Sergei, what about that feed that Mickey Redmond gave you?
Well, when I saw Mickey's ice, I know he's got everything under control. So he made me work. So I had to go very, very far to the far post, and can't believe it. That was a nice pass.
It's great to see both of you guys back here today, guys. Thanks a lot for this. Enjoy the second half.
All right. Thanks, Trevor.
Very much. Thank
All
you.
right. Nicholas Lidstrom and Sergei Fedorov, two of the all-time greatest to wear the Red Wing uniform. Now back to you guys.
Well, Trev, we can add to our stats. Most times Sergei Fedorov has wanted to be interviewed by a Fox Sports Detroit member. 2 now in a short period of time. Sergei and the Red Wings with that 4-1 lead, and you know the Maple Leafs are going to answer. They're a proud bunch.
Yeah, they are absolutely going to come back and put some pucks on both Ozzie and Manny. Those guys were good too in that first half.
All right, our Xfinity high-speed replay is a little bit something special. Of course, Steve Yzerman's return to Detroit is absolutely huge. And when he gave his stick to that young girl, tears followed. There's your goosebump stuff right there. We'll continue. We're at the break in the second game between the Red Wings and Maple Leafs. Great from the past on a scintillating, shimmering, chilly day in downtown Detroit.
Beginning in 1989, one by one, a small group of Russians defected from the Soviet Union to play in the NHL, trading their Red Army uniforms for Red Wing sweaters. The Detroit Red Wings drafted Sergei Fedorov and Vladimir Konstantinov first, with Vyacheslav Kozlov joining his countrymen a year later. The final 2 pieces of the puzzle came in the form of Slava Fetisov and Igor Larionov. Scotty Bowman took a page out of the Soviet playbook, forming the NHL's first 5-man unit. one that would help bring the Stanley Cup back to the city of Detroit.
It's basically like when Pavel gets a breakaway and everyone stands up and just waits to see what's going to happen, but with 5 guys on the ice.
Look at this. He's gone. Fedorov by himself. Moving in. Mano a mano.
Yes.
He scores!
Oh,
my, what a shot.
Opting out of the traditional NHL line, the Wings assembled an old-school Russian line that featured physical play, speed, puck handling, and scoring.
Scotty put together 5 Russians together on one line, and people thought you can't win with Russians, you can't win with all those Europeans. They were critical, and that's really, since then, everything we've done has really kind of come off of that because of the success that we had.
Each of the 5 had their own talents. Known for his hockey IQ, Igor the Professor Larionov dazzled Detroit fans with his remarkable passing and playmaking ability.
Look out here. Up the head, it's Konstantinov looking for a second. He scores!
Considered to be one of the greatest defensemen of all time, Fetisov, along with Larionov, were both instrumental in paving the way for Soviet players to play in the NHL. Konstantinov's aggressiveness and devastating hits earned him the nickname the Vladinator. Sergei Fedorov was an exceptional goal scorer, tremendous passer, and outstanding defensive player, often described as 3 perfect players in one. And then there was Kozlov, the youngest member of the pack, a center with great speed, quickness, and scoring ability.
Johnson in deep. Yzerman in on it. Front, they scored. Tic-tac-toe passing. Yzerman to Larionov to Kozlov.
These Wizards of Ov dominated the NHL throughout the 90s, all the while changing the face of hockey forever.
On your list of moments of perfection, the fact that Scotty Bowman started the Russian 5 for today's game is something special, I think, and to see Vladimir Konstantinov find his way to the ice, being helped by some of his former teammates, was great stuff.
And for young folks that see him now and wonder what happened or what kind of player he was unbelievable. He's the most intimidating player in the National Hockey League, unbelievably physical, a plus 98 over the 2 seasons he was with the Russian 5. I had a chance to do some television with Brian Leach in New York with MSG, doing the Rangers a few years back, and I said, no offense, Brian, but I really think Konstantinov should have won the 97 Norris Trophy that you won. And he said, you know what, if I had voted, I probably would have voted for him too. Always a class act, Brian Leach, but he had a great appreciation for Konstantinov.
Teams couldn't crack the blue line when Vladimir Konstantinov was manning it for Detroit, but it was a game against Calgary that everything sort of clicked. Scotty put the Russian 5 together, and man, this team took off.
Just a couple of days after Larionov completed as the final piece of the puzzle, they go up to Calgary. 8 shots on goal for the Flames. They never touched the puck. A 3-0 shutout for Chris Osgood. It never gotten easier than that. It was a great indication of things to come for the Russian 5.
All right, then the 4 that are playing very well, as are the Red Wings teammates. We'll continue with a break in between periods here in Game 2 of the Alumni Classic Showdowns at Comerica.
And company, Darren McCarty, welcoming his group, and Mickey Redmond make his way out to the ice. What a nice setup Mickey had on Sergei Fedorov's goal as the Red Wings lead the Maple Leafs by 3 as we get set for the second half. And the first appearance of this game for a former Red Wing, albeit a short time after leaving Toronto, signed by Detroit. To a lot of fanfare at the time, Curtis Joseph, who plays forward regularly. He does not play goal very often. He said when he's forced to once a year because it's Wayne Gretzky, he plays at his fantasy camp every February, but other than that, he doesn't don the pads. Now, he was a Red Wing, as we mentioned, but during his time in Detroit, the Red Wings reacquired Dominik Hasek. Well, Manny Legacy was in that dressing room as well, and Manny got the nickname of Jimmy Buffer because he was sitting between Cujo, Curtis Joseph, and Dominik Hasek. Was that a tough time, Manny?
It was a really tough time. You know, you had too many chickens, what is it, roosters in the hen house type deal? And, you know, with 2 talented guys, they both want to play, and there's not enough ice for 2 great goalies. And, you know, they wouldn't even dress at the same time, and it was a tough time, and understandable.
Yeah.
You know, Cujo made his commitment to come here and play a lot of games, and, you know, Dom wanted to come back, and the guy wins you a Stanley Cup, you got to bring him back. So it was one day I came in, and they used to sit beside each other, and I was on the end, and the next day I came back, and I was in the middle, and Cujo's in my stall.
Thus the name Jimmy Buffer.
Well, I self-proclaimed myself Jimmy Buffer zone.
So the second half is underway. Red Wings leading by 3. And Sergei Fedorov, who talked with John Keating, moved it ahead. Doug Brown, who's got a goal, went looking for the puck, and Fedorov. That flash and dash, and as we say, still playing in the Continental Hockey League, so he's in terrific shape. As the Red Wings played ahead. Fedorov stops inside the line as Brown goes to the goal. Then check was Fetisov, went off his stick to the corner and grabbed by Slava Kozlov. The return pass for Fedorov didn't work, as Mark Howe was there and Kozlov with it again. Over here to Brown, back in front of the net on a redirect wide of Curtis Joseph. Played ahead by Rick Vive. All those years, and he was Toronto's first 50-goal scorer. Rick Vive. Save made there by Legacy. Rebound grab by Howe.
That was a cannon. Thank God it hit me in the D.
Had some English on it, didn't it?
That was a bullet.
Knocked out of the air by
hands like Tucker.
Tucker, yeah.
And today we call it the Alumni English D, not the old English D, correct?
Oh, again.
Played back into the slot and a backhander. Save there. In front of the net, and another try, and Sullivan hasn't been retired all that long. Here's Domi with an opportunity. He passed over, wide open, and a save made. Good stop there on Sullivan. Steve Sullivan centered again.
Is this the Russian 5 out here?
Looks that way, doesn't it? Boy, Sullivan wasn't in Toronto long and let go and picked up off waivers and turned out to be a good addition. Chicago went on, and with New Jersey, and a good career for him. And we'll get that puck will go down the ice and touched for icing by Brian Berard. And our Red Wings player profile is brought to you by Ram Trucks, and there's Slava Fetisov, 2 gold medals and a silver medal, and Russia's Minister of Sport from 02 to 08, and with the Red Wings from 94 to 98, 9 seasons in the National Hockey League and a couple of cups in 97 and 98 for the great Slava Fetisov. Yzerman there helping out his netminder, Manny Legacy, who held it long enough to get a whistle.
Sorry, Stevie. I saw too many blue socks.
Stevie looks pretty good, doesn't he, Manny?
He looks awesome. I'd like to thank him for coming. What a great honor to be back with him again.
Shanahan, Cicerelli, and Yzerman, Rafalski, and Lidstrom. That Hall of Fame crew out there for the Red Wings. Only Brian Rafalski has only been retired a couple of years. That pass intended for Yzerman, but what a great career he had. Here is Berard, kicked it ahead, looked for it again. Shanahan was back, and Legacy played one over for Rafalski. Gilmore was on him. Andrechuk looking for it, another former 50-goal scorer a number of times, Dave Andrechuk. Save made by Joseph. Lidstrom couldn't handle it cleanly. Played ahead here for Nieuwendyk. Joe Nieuwendyk's shot went high. Mickey Redmond. Ahead for Holmstrom. Back in for Redmond. Thomas Holmstrom wearing number 96, all familiar to Red Wing fans, has it now with a chance down to Redmond. Look back in front, and a backhander and knocked away. Thomas Holmstrom, when he was just a youngster and before grabbing a number, when he was asked what number should I take, and he said, well, I'd like number 96 for the year I came, and Scotty Bowman walked by and said, why don't you take 98? It's the year you'll be leaving. Didn't quite turn out that way.
The lines in the locker room, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Classic.
And from Scotty.
Oh.
Chelios waits. Couldn't find Mickey. And Brian Rafalski standing by with John Keating.
All right, Kenny, thanks. By Red Wing standards, you were still a kid when you retired. How does it feel to be out there?
Oh, it's good. You know, a lot of these guys I grew up watching here, you know, in the Detroit area, and it's fun to get a chance to play with a few of them, and it's been exciting so far.
You're coaching your kid now, and obviously at a very, very high level. How much satisfaction are you getting from that?
Well, you know, we've, you know, going down to Florida and playing hockey down there, you didn't know what to expect. But, you know, God put us down there for a reason. We got a great group of 9-year-olds, and they're making a lot of waves in the hockey world.
All right, so you're a defenseman. Your team has a 3-goal lead. How much pressure is there to sort of win this game on your home turf?
Oh, well, yeah, I think we're still looking for a few more goals. There's no insurance. You never know.
Three's not enough.
You never know.
Spoken like a true defenseman, Kenny.
Thank you, John. That was our Arby's interview. John Keating along with Brian Rafalski. As the Red Wings, Kozlov had that great opportunity while John and Brian were chatting. Kozlov looked at Fedorov in front for Koser. Fedorov again centered one. That hit a leg. Fedorov stayed with it. Side of the goal, Joseph gets a glove on it. And Curtis Joseph will hold on for a face-off. Celebrate hockey with the Red Wings Pick 4-pack. You can choose 4 games from a pre-selected list and enjoy benefits like playoff priority. Plus, you'll get a free ticket to see Michigan State and Michigan at the Joe on Thursday, January 23rd. Go to DetroitRedWings.com now for tickets. Chris Draper on that face-off out along with Koser and Maltby. As the Leafs, Brian Berard carries in. Knocked away by Paul Coffey. Draper speeding away through center. Draper hooked on the way back by Courtnall. Referees loath to call a penalty, though. Brian Lewis wearing number 23.
That wasn't hooking when these guys played.
No, it wasn't. That's right. Koser has it. Circles in behind Joseph. Like a true Canadian. Got that toque. And scores Lidstrom. Fitting that number 5 gets the 5th goal.
And 33 working hard on that shift like he did for so many years here. Chris Draper, Nick Lidstrom making it look easy.
Nice pass in front by Maltby. And Lidstrom buried that. March 6th will be a huge night. As number 5 will go to the rafters at Joe Louis Arena with the Colorado Avalanche in town. Even the opponent is fitting. Good move back by Draper. Dropped it back. Berard able to find it. And Berard clears it away. Chris Osgood is taken in over in goal now for Manny Legacy. Hope that Chris is warm enough. Maltby carries, dropped it back for Koser, knocked away. Ozzy, how you feeling?
I'm cold right now. Too much sitting around there. Try and hold this lead here.
Well, I think you got a good shot at that.
I don't know. Yeah. As it always, you know, the Red Wings are all about all goaltending, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it's been always that way. You know that firsthand. There's another try-in for Cicerelli. Boy, Cicerelli and Holmstrom, 2 of the best ever in the game at pestering the opposing netminder. Well, when we asked Dino Cicerelli after his Hall of Fame induction, oh, and it rolls through. That was tipped in front.
Shane Corson driving through, yeah.
Yep.
I should have had that, not gonna lie to you.
All right.
Yeah, came through a crowd, usually I'm paddled down, I'm a little stiff. A little stiff, yeah.
It was deflected, though.
No. I should have had that. All right.
It must be the smaller pads, Chris.
No, that's not that. Trust me. Watch this here. But watch this.
Nice play. Way to move it. Chipped ahead by Cicerelli. Dave Ellett stood up on it. And poor Dave Ellett, who had that Wayne Gretzky puck go off his skate in '93 when Toronto was looking to make that run. And to think about it, that year for the Maple Leafs would have been Toronto-Montreal in a Stanley Cup final when Montreal beat Gretzky's Kings. 2 great original 6 franchises here this afternoon. As Osgood plays it ahead. 145 players have worn both the Leaf and Red Wings sweater, but only one played at least 500 games for both, and that's Hall of Famer Norm Ullman, who's not in the game today. Norm played 875 games with the Red Wings, 535 with Toronto. And a big trade to Toronto, Ullman, Henderson, and Smith. Here's a chance. Good toe stop there by Joseph on Holmstrom, the man he said was the biggest pain in the butt when he played. Here's a break. Scores! That was a good shot. Ty Domi.
Fuck! Ty! Ty!
Well, Ty went high.
I don't think he did.
You thought you should have had it?
I think he went low. He never goes low. Ever. He never goes low. He went just above the pad. He made a good shot, too. I never goes there. He's always high, our 5-hole. Stunning.
Stunning. Ty's son, Max, a first-round draft pick of the Phoenix Coyotes, 12th overall, and he's got better hands than him. They come again. Good stop there. Got him that time. Way to go, Chris.
You were focused there, Ozzy. Had a boy. Oh, that hurt, man. That hurt.
Fool me once, but not twice. Shame on him just once. Chance for Kozlov. Passed off, and Lidstrom was stopped by Joseph.
Great save.
Oh, we're seeing some good goaltending at both ends, and nice form there,
I'm
Chris.
telling you what, that break and sitting on the bench just crushed me.
Yeah.
I'm so stiff, it's ridiculous right now. Man, he played me like a fiddle. He goes and takes the first 7. I can't even move right now.
Well, he made a good push on that second breakaway by Domi.
Manny, you're glad you're on the bench for the last few minutes?
What's that?
You glad you're on the bench for the last few minutes?
Oh, 2 breakaways? No, thank you.
I know.
My toes are freezing.
Well, you'll get back out there soon. The
Yeah,
rotation's
I'm out in 2
working
more
well.
minutes.
Yeah. Every 7 minutes or so, Manny Legacy and Chris Osgood are changing. It's a 5-3 game now. Toronto battled back in game 1 that Detroit wound up winning. 5-4 was the final there. Detroit up 5-3 now. And still some breathing room for the Red Wings, and in each game a 2-0 lead, Detroit.
If you heard that, the boards rattle, it was actual.
There's a hit.
Draper with a little bump on Gilmore. Just for old time's sake.
I thought there in the first real nasty one would be Chelly.
Well, Chelly wanted to with Tiger Williams, but Tiger kind of impaled himself in that first period.
Remember Tiger Williams, the famous line, stick a fork in them, they're done like dinner.
I played with Tiger in L.A. after he got traded there, actually from Detroit. Remember, he was with Detroit a little bit, and he was 22 in Toronto, and he was 55 here. He said it's upside down and backwards. That's why he chose number 55.
Whatever works.
Oh, well, it works differently for Tiger in a lot of levels.
Roberts worked well there with Nieuwendyk. Shot across the score. Steve Stumpy Thomas.
That's the shot we were talking about in the
that was a
first
rocket.
half.
That was tough.
That was a legit play there.
Yeah, that was a good one. Let me see this. That was impressive. Who passed that? Was that Nieuwendyk?
Nieuwendyk, yeah, Nieuwendyk.
That was good.
Yeah.
Nieuwendyk and Roberts, the great friends to Steve Thomas. So it's 5-4 now. Still just under 11 minutes to go here in the second half of our Game 2, our alumni doubleheader, as the Leafs are coming on here. Thomas with Roberts and Nieuwendyk remain out. Shanahan up front with Cicerelli and Yzerman. Good save. Puck played ahead. Just out of the reach of Chelios, who goes after it to force McGill. Thomas was heading off. Will make a play, but gave it away. Great save, Joseph. Back in front of the net. And Larionov couldn't bury that off the Shanahan feed.
Tried getting into it with saves like that.
fucking freezing.
Curtis Joseph getting up with Bob McGill. Really good read there by Curtis Joseph.
That's all right.
Nice save there.
And McGill tried to make an arm save, but Joseph got there first. So Manny Legacy has taken in goal for Chris Osgood now. So Manny not sitting can get warm a little bit. Lidstrom for Larionov. It was behind Koser. Koser able to find it. Scotty Bowman said he was at a service station when the guy at the service station said you should really think about bringing back Joey Koser. He's playing in that beer league, you know, he'd be pretty good. In come the Leafs now with a break and a save by Legacy. Centered by Courtnall. Shot off the stick of Jamie McCowan. And the Leafs will go back and get it. Brian McKay. And a good opportunity. Watched there by Holmstrom. Wendell Clark. Couldn't get it. Dave Ellett will throw it in. As Larry Murphy, one of the best passers the game has seen, gave it ahead to Redmond. Redmond fighting for it there along with Tiger Williams, who gets his stick up on Mick.
Heads up now.
Rafalski's pass to the line, but not out. Good coverage on Iafrate as Fedorov. That's why you win those Selke trophies. Makes the play ahead. Hooked on the play was Kozlov. Stays with it. There's a penalty coming. Our first penalty delayed call. Are they going to give a penalty shot?
Yeah.
Let's see what they do.
Penalty shot. Absolutely.
So Curtis Joseph's going to face a penalty shot in lieu of penalties. That a boy, Ron Hogarth and Dave Lewis, or Brian Lewis, rather.
Yeah, Brian Lewis. I afraid he was going to the box. They waved him out. Penalty shot instead.
I think that's one you had to call. I think even Mickey would agree with that one. Although it's the old game in today's game. So Al Iafrate, who hails from this area, one of the hardest shooters the game has seen. Al Iafrate up there in Zdeno Chara territory, the way he could fire that puck. But he won't go to the box. It's a penalty shot instead. While they clear the ice, we'll step out for a moment. We'll have the penalty shot for. All right, Mick, we got a penalty shot for Slava Kozlov. What do you think?
Kozlov is sitting with me. Can you give us a heads up, Kazi, on what you're going to make a move on?
I think I'm going to go high glove.
You're going to go high glove. Did you get that, Kenny? High glove?
I did. We won't tell anyone, though.
We won't tell anyone right now. It's only going over Fox Sports Detroit. Well, all the best, kid. We need a 2-goal lead, so let's see your old stuff here, eh?
Thanks.
Go get him.
Mick, I want your thoughts on the call.
It's called interference because old-time referees don't know what the word hooking is, and aren't we happy for that? Yeah. It was definitely a penalty. There's no question. Yeah. So Kazi, instead of 2 minutes, not in a game like this, it's an automatic penalty shot. So Slava Kozlov, who used to sleep with one eye open on Redbird 1, is going to take a shot right now.
11.
Let's go. High glove, Kazi. Let's see what he can
glove.
do.
11, 20 goal seasons.
Left-hand catcher. That's hard to do. Oh, he tried to go 5-hole, and no cigar.
Well, let's ask one of the goalies. Maybe did Cujo take that away so he couldn't go high glove?
No cigar.
I just think when he came in on this side, I didn't think he'd go high glove. And it wasn't there. He tried to slide it as Cujo came across. Came across nicely right there with the led with that right leg down, huh?
Yeah, good patience
nice
there.
What, little cushion. I know.
Fucking Brownie. Chuck, he's campaigning to get ice time. Holy Christ. Huh? Trust me. I just did.
Loose puck as it grabbed here by Rafalski. 8 to go here in the second half. Berard forces Kozlov wide. Kozlov with Brown, the honorary Russian. Rafalski put one in front, knocked out of the air. And a chance there for Kozlov as at least Kevin McGuire regains control of it. Knocked down at center by Fedorov. Kozlov plays one back for Brian Rafalski. Lead pass too far for Brown. Got help from Kozlov. Sent back by Corson. Up there along with Kevin McGuire. He's a tough guy when he played. Left point for Dave Ellett. Back of the net. Corson, the center. Legacy down. He's got that. And our Maple Leafs player profile is brought to you by Perani's Hockey World. There's number 22, Rick Vaive, the former Maple Leafs captain, who was the first Leaf to score 50 goals when he scored 54 in 81, 82, and then had a couple of more 50-goal seasons after that. And when Rick Vaive played the game, Darren, and you know this, if he didn't come back to the bench with snow in his pants, he didn't have a shift.
No, he was all out all the time. We just saw a penalty shot. Rick Vaive scored on a penalty shot on me when I was playing for the Los Angeles Kings. He scored on a slap shot. I'd never seen anyone do it before, and he actually scored. He always brings it up when we see one another.
When I'm hearing these stories, there were a lot of players who scored on you.
Well, exactly. Why do you think I ended up on the end of the bench lots of times?
Well, we're glad to have you in the penalty box here tonight.
It's fun to see these guys. See, I saw Paul Coffey was talking about youth hockey because his team won the Toronto Marlies tournament this weekend.
You'd think that Paul Coffey would be coaching one day in the National Hockey League. He just loves the game.
He does. He does a marvelous job with that program, the Toronto Marlies program. Obviously in Toronto, and he won his own tournament, which is a big thing.
Paul Coffey, who wears his skates a couple of size smaller than they should be, loves that. In front to Koser. And a save made by Curtis Joseph. Joey Koster's been all smiles this afternoon, and again, if you joined us late, he wore number 24 to start the game in honor of his good pal and a man we all dearly miss, Bob Probert. Love those battles, and Darren, and the battles that Proby had with Ty Domi are legendary.
Oh, they are. And I remember the legendary battle he had with Wendell Clark.
Oh, yeah.
The year I was with Detroit, the opening weekend home and home with these very Maple Leafs, and it was unbelievable how they would go at it.
McCabe had a shot block.
Great block!
Great block. Manny Legacy as Chelios put it in for Dino Ciccarelli. As I was saying earlier, Ciccarelli told us after his Hall of Fame induction that he was better in front than Holmstrom. There's a chance for him. Couldn't put that one past Joseph. Dino Ciccarelli saying he was the best at pestering goaltenders. And what a forward line that Scotty Bowman has managed to put together here. Just under 2,000 combined career goals for this unit. And a Hall of Fame line. As we said, 15 in this game, including Scotty Bowman. Manning the Red Wing bench with Barry Smith, Pat Quinn, and Red Kelly on the Toronto side as coaches. Honorary puck drop from Gordie Howe and Ted Lindsay. What an afternoon it's been here. Detroit won the first of the two games, 5-4, and lead the second one by that score with just over 5 to play. Jamie McCowan, not the helmet, but the hat, drops one off here, and Joe Nieuwendyk will circle. Play would have been offside, so Thomas will regroup for Toronto. Now they get back onside. Moved ahead here for
Great stick, Ralphie.
Nieuwendyk, and Rafalski, as Manny Legacy will tell you, did a good job on that on Joe Nieuwendyk. What a leader he was in the game, and a Stanley Cup winner with Calgary, Dallas, and New Jersey in 03. John Keating.
All right, Dino Ciccarelli says he can't breathe, which I believe not to be the case. Lots and lots of laughs, but all of a sudden things get a little more grim with only a one-goal lead.
Yeah, it really is. The pace has picked up a little bit here. Kyle's making a comeback, but we're having a lot of fun out here, a lot of fun.
What's it like to play on that line, 2,000 goals with you and Shanny and Eisenman?
Well, Scotty said the lineup today. He said, Dino, I want with you Stevie and Brendan Shanahan. Quite the honor, obviously, you know. Two great guys, two great Hall of Famers, and I'm the fortunate one to be on the right side.
You have lots of pride on both benches. How much do you want to win this thing?
We want to win. We're in front of our home fans here, so we want to win the game, and got a lot of people pulling for us in the whole town here, so we want to pull this off. We got a few minutes left.
Get your breath, get a win.
Okay, thank you.
Kenny?
And John, a full court press here by Detroit. As Holmstrom moves up, and he was denied on the short side as Thomas will skate away. Leafs can't get through. Good coverage by the Red Wings at the line. Gary Roberts. He'll lift a high one in. That's knocked out of the air. They say without a high stick. Good job as they keep it moving, and Lidstrom knocked that puck down just out of Mickey Redmond's reach. As Fedorov will go back with it. Lidstrom at center. And great stick that he has, and Russ Courtnall. Redmond couldn't come with it. Good play. Here's Courtnall with a chance. That was denied. It's a 2-on-1 break here. Fedorov's got it. Look for the pass. It was knocked down by McGill. Fedorov patiently back to the line. In for Kozlov. Redmond in the slot. And they'll have to come out as over there to get it is Paul Coffey. Maybe the greatest skater the game has seen. What wheels on him, Darren?
Oh, fantastic skater. He bumped into Russ Courtnall. They were laughing coming back to the neutral zone.
Here comes Clark with that heavy wrist shot. Decides to slap one instead. Good stop there by Manny Legacy, and I love the old style, the brown pads that Manny's got for this game tonight. Wendell Clark with the toque. Good old Canadian boy from Saskatchewan. How those pads feel, Manny? You worked them in for a little while?
They're still pretty stiff. Ryan's has done a phenomenal job with them.
Play goal and still give a plug. Well done. Draper heads to the front of the goal. As Brown pushed it into the corner. Draper back of the net, Maltby in front. Back to the line for Chelios. It was blocked. Picked up by Draper. Back to Chelios again. Another shot didn't get through. This one did. As Brown redirected that. And a good save by Curtis Joseph. I don't think Chelios meant to fan on that one, but it worked.
Brown meant to deflect it. Nice save by Joseph.
Why is it all goaltenders play forward after they're done?
Easy. Look at that gear we have to put on.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, if you don't show up for it, you ruin the game.
Oh, I know. I know that from my pickup hockey. Yes.
That's right.
At Cranbrook and Detroit Skating Club, yes, we make sure we have the goaltenders.
Right,
you targets, as we call you.
You don't want that pressure.
Yeah. But the nice thing, goaltenders play for free, and that's the way it should be.
Right.
So, 2.5 to play here in the second half of a 5-4 Red Wing lead. Maltby and Draper. Pass through to Yzerman. Good coverage by McCabe. Yzerman, though, stays with it. Then gets taken to the boards by Shane Corson. McCabe able to get the puck. Shanahan took it back from him. The Leafs move it. Corson blocked at center by Shanahan. Well, we could be going into a left wing lock here late. Shanahan tied up Corson. And he can't hold it in, so the Leafs have to come back with it. Was offside, but at this stage the linesmen are cold. They're letting it go. Linesman Mark Perret and Jerry Pateman. Mark Perret just retired from the NHL 3 years ago. Here comes Cicerelli, played it back, saved by Joseph. And Patman one-timer. Little interference thrown into McCabe. Cicerelli at center. So, Darren, you keep an eye on Curtis Joseph if he'll be heading out of the Toronto goal, as Iafrate couldn't get through at center. Iafrate with it now, though, for Gilmore. Look for the pass. Oh, and it changed direction as Lidstrom was there, and a puck off to the corner. Lidstrom safely ahead, and a good play. Holmstrom up with Koser. The pass to him was blocked. Good job by Al Iafrate. And the Leafs have it. There goes Joseph. So empty net for Toronto. 6 skaters to 5. Larry Onoff played it up the near boards and goes to get it. Off the side of the goal, Larry Murphy. And the Red Wings get it to center. Domio rifle it back in. 40 seconds left. Larry Murphy held his ground, able to make the play. Larry Onoff with Koser. Back for Murphy. The Hall of Famer played it up the right wing boards into the Toronto zone. Oh, Thomas Holmstrom out there for Scotty Bowman in the final seconds of a lead. Tucker dropped it back. McCabe with it on a backhand. That didn't click. McCabe's got it again. Played it through. Ellett in deep with it. Chance here. Neuendijk side of the goal. Loose in front of it to score. They tie it up with 3 seconds left.
Coming all the way back.
Steve Sullivan started that play from behind the goal in the jubilant Maple Leaf bench. Brian McCabe and the Toronto Maple Leafs have tied it up with the Red Wings 5-5 with a couple of seconds to go. If they were worried about time, they may put 1 or 2 back on, but it was just over 3 seconds left when the puck went in, but it won't matter. The score is all even at 5. And now the crowd here at Comerica Park, you hear the Go Leafs Go chant. As you look at the score clock here at Comerica Park, Hogarth and Lewis, the referees, confirm.
Couple seconds to be put on. Back on the clock.
A jubilant bunch. See Mike Gartner there, Shane Corson. Mustache of Lanny McDonald. Brian McCabe tying it up. And with the time basically having elapsed, they'll go to a shootout here. Well, we've seen enough of shootouts from the Red Wings' current day. So maybe we'll see a little change here. Mick, what are your thoughts on that wacky final few seconds?
That was a heck of a goal. A goalie out. I mean, lots of pressure. The fans went nuts, didn't they? All the blue jerseys. It was pretty cool. That was an old-time tying goal, I'll tell you right there. Leafs and Red Wings years ago. What did they get? 1 game separating the all-time wins and losses with the Leafs and Red Wings in the history. Pretty amazing. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. Except that we didn't want to go to a shootout.
Well, they had both defensemen and deep. McCabe got to it just before Ellett
Well, we thought
did.
we had our defensive specialist on the ice, you know. So I guess we got to go back to the drawing board on that.
Well, you had Scotty had Homer out there, so you know.
Yeah, I know that won't go over very good. I'll tell you right now.
Thought all was pretty secure. Manny, what are your thoughts?
On what? I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
Manny, no, just getting your thoughts on that one. That was a wild scramble.
Yeah, I didn't get a very good push across and blew it under my glove there. It was a rocket though.
It was. And all pressure with the goaltender out. So how do you feel about the shootout? Who scares you most on that other side, although we're not sure who's shooting yet?
Everybody, 'cause my joints are killing me right now.
So you're staying in. Chris Osgood said, not a chance, I'm coming
I
back.
don't know where he went. He was supposed to come in with 5 minutes left to go.
I think is he gone to the room? Is he hiding?
I don't know where he went. I'm looking at the bench. I'm like, hey, you're supposed to be in the last 5.
Oh, that's why, you see. He knew he was
Where
called, but...
Is he all right?
Home team?
All right.
Okay, we'll call heads on the flip first.
What is it? I can't see.
Heads it is, so it's our choice.
Yeah.
What do you want to do, Scotty? You want to shoot first? Your choice.
How many shooters, guys, you know?
3 shooters.
We won the flip. We won the flip. What do you want to do? You want to shoot first? Okay, we'll go first.
3 shooters, Mick, right?
How many shooters? I don't know.
3 shooters.
3.
Ronnie, how many shooters?
3 shooters. 3 shooters, and then if it's tough tie, we're going to sudden death. 1-1-1-1.
Okay. All right. Yeah, 3 shooters and then sudden death. 3 shooters total, and then we go sudden death. We go first. Thomas Holmstrom.
Really? So Scotty's making up for that line about 98 the year leaving.
Have you guys got me?
I do.
You guys got me?
Yep.
All right, Homer. You're -1 on the tying goal.
Yeah, -2.
You got a chance for the shootout. Bowman picked you first. Pretty good stuff, eh?
That's good stuff, yeah.
Huh?
I know, I can see what I got to do.
All right, 35,000. Go get him. Go get him. All right.
So Thomas Holmstrom will shoot first as the Red Wings won the toss. Scores! Great recovery. Well, Curtis Joseph told us before the game, Thomas Holmstrom was the biggest pain in the butt for him in his career, and he's a bigger pain right now. He sure beat up that one, Mick.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Wait a minute here. Homer. Talk to the boys. Where did you get that move from? You've never had that move.
Yeah, shoot it out a little bit. Oh, yeah, once.
You hadn't been saving it for 10 years.
Nice save on Gartner by Manny Legacy.
Oh, I got lucky on that one. He shot it right at me. Thanks, Sully.
So in the best of 3 shootout, the Red Wings are up by a goal on Thomas
Nick Lidstrom,
Holmstrom.
boys. Nick Lidstrom in a shootout.
There you go.
Here goes number 5.
And Joseph stops Lidstrom, so the Red Wings still up by 1, and Toronto awaiting their second shot.
Looked like Nick tried to go over the pad, but Cujo shut him down. Here comes Stevie Thomas. He already got a goal in the game.
So Steve Thomas on Manny Legacy. Who scored a beauty earlier, did Steve Thomas? Not that time.
Good push that time, Manny.
And
Shanny to win it.
so will it be Brendan Shanahan or Steve Yzerman? Well, Brendan Shanahan stopped by Dominik Hasek in the Olympics, so your chance, Brendan, for redemption. No. Not quite the same redemption, however, but so now it's up to you, Manny. No pressure.
Thanks.
No problem. So the Red Wings have the 1 goal from Thomas Holmstrom, who shot first in the shootout. Neuendijk has to score to tie it. There you go! And the Red Wings win it. 6-5 the final. They sweep the doubleheader at Comerica Park.
Way to go, Manny boy. Nice job. Way to go, guys. Way to go, Papa. Good job, man.
What a fantastic afternoon. John, take it.
All right, Kenny, thanks with Darren McCarty. With really nothing big on the line, but pride.
Oh, yeah.
How much you guys
bragging rights.
Yeah.
And I think you see the way that the game did, and the longer it went on, the more intense it got, especially being up 4 goals, and Toronto came back. But, you know, winning is winning, even though it's for a great cause and get back together. We'll still take the shootout win.
All right, go get in the handshake line. Appreciate it. Welcome back. Kenny?
Thank you, John. What an afternoon this has been. Just outstanding. And 2 1-goal wins by Detroit. And there were 36 shots on the Leaf contingent of netminders here this afternoon. And Manny Legacy and Chris Osgood faced 29. Brendan Shanahan and Mike Gartner. What an afternoon with the great players for these 2 teams, and it's fitting the way it's gone. As we mentioned, 648 points for the Red Wings in the regular season meetings all time. Toronto just 2 fewer at 646. And wouldn't you know, 2 1-goal wins here in the second game to a shootout as Detroit sweeps. And Chris Draper, all the hard work he put in to have his team ready, and Ty Domi with a beauty here. And Joe Kocur, and that's something. So a great afternoon, and still a lot more to come here from Comerica Park as the Red Wings win 5-4 and 6-5. We'll be back with a whole lot more. Game summary is brought to you by Family Heating and Cooling and Electrical. The tying goal with just a few ticks left on the clock from Brian McCabe as the Leaf defensemen all rushed in with the goaltender out and Curtis Joseph on the bench, so we went to a shootout. And Thomas Holmstrom, an unlikely man to shoot first for Scotty Bowman, but he's always with the unpredictable. After a bouncing puck, he got it to control and a nice backhander high by Thomas Holmstrom, which wound up being the winner because our big boy, big play of the game has Manny Legacy stoning Joe Neuendijk. The NHL legend couldn't beat Manny. And with that, The Red Wings win, and for that big save and his fine play and talking us through the game with the mic on him too, our McDonald's Player of the Game, presented by the new premium Southwest McWrap, is Manny Legacy in a terrific photo. Just watch these faces as they're all at center ice. We said when we talked about this doubleheader, unforgettable memories, and for these players too, believe me, it's a day they'll never forget and a day they were looking forward to, well, for well over a year until it finally arrived. And our winning goal scorer tonight, the game deciding goal, Thomas Holmstrom, standing by with John.
All right, Kenny, no, they're coming to us. I have to tell everybody that when they're trying to decide who's going to be the shootout goals, the reaction up and down the bench was, Homer? Homer's going to be one of the shootout shooters. Congratulations. Yeah. It means something, doesn't it?
It's fun because I lost my guy there. McCabe coming in, I lost my guy. It's like, I felt bad about it. So, but nice to get it back, I guess. That was good, yeah.
What was the game plan going into the shootout?
You know, I just come to do some chop. I lost it a little bit and coming in again. And I think I was going to go 5-hole, but snagged around him, yeah.
All right, put this game in some perspective for us. What did it mean to you, having had a terrific career, having won 4 Stanley Cups, to get a chance to come back here and play in one of these?
Yeah, lots of fun. There's so much talent, too. It's unbelievable to see all those guys, the old guys, and you just heard about the names and see a little bit from TV all the time. So lots of fun, yeah.
All right, go take another picture. They're posing again, so we have to let Thomas Holmstrom go. Let's see if we can get Steve Thomas in here. Come here, Steve, if you would. All right.
You want me?
Yeah, Stumpy played a little bit for the Red Wings as well. All right, you obviously have great ties to the Maple Leafs, and so you came in to play this as one of the visitors to play in this kind of venue. What were you thinking?
Well, I played 1 year with Detroit. My last year, I was 42 years old playing for the Red Wings, and it was a great opportunity. But I played 6 years with Toronto, so I started there. I'm from Toronto. It's kind of my team growing up.
Have you done one of these kinds of events before?
I have, actually, at the Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton. There was an outdoor game there, and it rained, it snowed, and the winds were about 40 miles an hour, and it was a difficult game to play.
To be surrounded by all these Hall of Famers and a full house here, how much fun was that?
Well, I'm humbled, to be honest with you. Like, playing with some of these guys, I watched a lot of the guys that we played with today on television. I was Mike Palmetier in the net on the driveway. And he was spectacular tonight. He was unbelievable.
Welcome back. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Steve Thomas working with Steve Yzerman with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And back here as a member of the Maple Leafs going up against Yzerman and the Red Wings. Kenny, back up to you.
What a great afternoon, John. And to see Steve Yzerman and his interview with you and how much he loved it. And to see Nick Lidstrom back, we can't wait till March 6th, although we wish it didn't come at all, at least right now with his sweater having to go to the rafters. But Sergei Fedorov, who traveled all the way from Switzerland, where he was involved in the Spengler Cup and still playing overseas. And how many times through the career that Steve Yzerman pushed Sergei Fedorov, said you can be the best, and yes you can. And Brendan Shanahan on a Hall of Fame career and just in November, and still involved with the National Hockey League at such a high level and doing such a thankless but wonderful job there. And good friends, there they are, and they work together, as we say, Steve Thomas, an assistant coach for Steve Yzerman in Tampa Bay under John Cooper, and they've done a great job, even in the absence of Steven Stamkos. So the pictures tell the story on this day. Memories, yes, we'll never forget, as the Red Wings get 2 at Comerica Park in downtown Detroit. A beautiful afternoon, smiling faces all around. We loved it. We hope you did too. And they'll go outdoors tomorrow at the Big House as the